It's time for Sports 56 Middays with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. The first hour of Sports 56 Middays is brought to you by Action247.com. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
I got a piece of land out in the countryside. Lay back and smell the sun. Warm up the Georgia pie. It's so good to be taking it easy. Why would I ever leave? 'Cause I know I got some good friends.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. Welcome into Sports 56 Middays. Hope you've all survived Snowmageddon. Still a little ice and snow out there, but for the most part, it has melted away. Unfortunately, it's caused some damage. Certainly caused a little damage at my home. We're still under the drinking orders, advisory, whatever it is in the city of Memphis as far as boiling water. So that has not been straightened out yet, hopefully sooner than later. So be careful as far as that's concerned. Other than that, hope you had an enjoyable weekend as the sun is out now. The temperatures are starting to rise, and hopefully that's the last of the white stuff we see for 2021. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, and Zach Boyd with you on this Monday, February 22nd, 2021. Sports 56 Middays is brought to you by, in hour number one, Action247.com. And we sit here and enjoy ourselves from the Family Leisure Studios, where family and fun come together. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. They have their direct pool and patio sale going on right now. And when you stop by, make sure you ask for an official Sports 56 mask. Wear your mask. And that's only while supplies last. All right, on the program today, we got a little bit of everything. The Tigers return to practice on Saturday. They'll return to the hardwood, knock on wood, Wednesday when they host Tulane. At least that's the plan. Doesn't look like Mike Oresko is going to, at least as of this moment, do much adjusting with the schedule. There's 2 weeks to go in the regular season. It still could happen. The Grizzlies, a lot going on with them. They played a couple of games over the weekend, a mixed bag. But we also saw the debut of Justice Winslow. They're back in action tonight in Dallas against the Mavericks. We will discuss that on the program today. We'll go over the weekend in college basketball. A lot of national games of importance, SEC games as well, plus the American Conference. We'll talk about all those games on the program. We had the strange story that involved Coach Prime as Deion Sanders won in his debut as the coach of Jackson State. We had the Cam Newton video, which has made its circles around, and we will discuss that. And also, college baseball got underway, and Ole Miss had a great weekend. So good that Ole Miss, and there's a number of different publications, but at least one I know of, where Ole Miss starts off the new week as the number one team in the nation. We don't have any guests lined up for you today, so that means plenty of time to take your phone calls on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255. You can always hit us up via the First Bank text line at 67129. Eli, how are you today?
I'm good. It's National Margarita Day, which is good. I think great timing on that. I think a lot of folks, especially in this city and other parts of the South, could you really use a margarita today after surviving the winter weather that we had last week. Now the sun out, warmer weather, basically a swamp because of all the snow melting. But I think a good margarita would be a good way to get through your day and kind of restart a new week.
Yeah, just don't use the old ice that's lingering outside on the streets. Use fresh ice. Don't use any of that ice for
don't use the fresh
margarita.
Don't use fresh ice if it was made from water here in Memphis.
Well, that's
either.
right too. Yeah. So think about it as you get ready for your margarita today here on this Monday. Yeah, it was. Look, it is what it is. A little bit of a pain in the butt to boil the water, and I drank a lot from the. Luckily, I had a stock of bottled water, but it is getting low. So I only have maybe a half dozen bottled water remaining, bottles of water, and hopefully we'll get this thing. They'll get it straightened out here sooner than later. But I have no idea. I don't know. But again, they're talking about. I don't even know if they're for certain that there are germs and bacteria in the water, but to be safe.
Yeah,
continue to boil in the city of Memphis.
Yeah, this is basically just a requirement based on the water pressure. I don't know. As of the other day, they had not found any bacteria in the water, but this is just because of rules and regulations. Basically, when the water pressure gets to the point it is, then they have to issue the boil order. One thing I learned I knew this going in, and I just was my strategy over the weekend. You do not have to boil beer.
No.
You can drink it right out of the fridge. You're good to go.
Right out of a can, right out of a bottle, right out of a keg. Good to go.
So that got me through the weekend.
That's nice.
If you don't have to, if you don't drink water, you don't have to worry about boiling water.
And don't worry about Eli. He wasn't driven to drink by the storm. He just naturally drinks. This was just another Saturday and Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
Not because of Ice-mageddon or Snow-mageddon. It's, that's just a normal weekend in the Savoy household.
That did prevent me from going outside and doing anything. You really can't do much outside other than slop through the slush and wetness. So it gave me an excuse to stay inside and drink.
Right. Well, and watch a lot of sports is what we do anyway, but especially when the weather's not great. You sit inside, you watch sports, what's going on, a lot of basketball. A lot of basketball to talk about, whether it be from the NBA or collegiate basketball. And we'll start things off with the Grizzlies. And as I said, they had a very busy weekend, and they're back in action tonight as they will play in Dallas. So at least there are some good positive signs in the Lone Star State that things are turning around for the better, because that state has been hit pretty darn hard from the ice and the snow, and they had the water issues as well. But we know there was several games that were postponed that involved the Mavericks. I think it also involved the Rockets and the Spurs, correct? Weren't they affected as well, or was it just the Dallas area?
The Spurs were in the COVID situation.
Yeah.
I don't. So
it's COVID for the Spurs?
Was that had anything to do with the storms?
Yeah, it was COVID for the Spurs, and pretty much the entire state of Texas was on the winter effect from the winter storm,
because they got hit with the water thing too.
Yeah,
like Memphis has been hit with it. But anyway, it looks like things are getting back to somewhat normalcy in the state of Texas. Oh, and then we have we have COVID as well. That hasn't gone away yet. So just don't forget about that. But the latest thing was, of course, the snow and the ice and the water problems and whatever else is next coming down the road. Who knows? But at least Memphis is going to play tonight in Dallas against the Mavs. The Mavericks are 13-15. They had some issues early in the year with the injury to Kristaps Porzingis, but certainly a capable team when you have a Luka Doncic. The Grizzlies are 13-13, so they continue to win one, lose one, although they did get a 2-game winning streak going after their win Friday night over Detroit, and then came back to earth on Saturday as they got pummeled by the Phoenix Suns. So the Grizzlies and the Mavs tonight, but it looks like they're about as healthy as they've been in a while. Yes, Jaren Jackson Jr. is still out. He is not expected back before the All-Star break, and who knows when after they start the second half of the year, but he is expected to be back sometime this season. Dylan Brooks will miss his third straight game tonight as well, and Killian Tilly, one of the two-way guys, has been out for the season to date. But other than that, everybody's back. Brandon Clark's available tonight. Grayson Allen, who was rested against Phoenix, is back. Kyle Anderson, who was rested against Phoenix, is back. And Justice Winslow played his first game against the Suns. We'll get to that in just a second. Let me start with the Friday game over Detroit. Easy win, 109-95. That pushed the winning streak to 2. Mini winning streak. And then they play Phoenix, and they lose 128-97. Now, if they were at full strength, I'm not talking Jaren Jackson Jr. I'm talking Kyle Anderson and Grayson Allen, who were rested. Now, they didn't have Brandon Clark. He was going to be out either way. But if they had Anderson and Allen, would it have made a difference? Probably not. Right, Eli? Probably not. The Suns are just
not if the
on
Suns
fire.
are going to go 24 or 46 from three-point range.
Right.
I mean, maybe Kyle Anderson helps that. I don't know. But if I don't care who's playing, if the other team goes 24 or 46 from three-point range, you're probably going to lose the game unless you go crazy from three-point range as well. And when you go 5 of 33 and they go 24 or 46, it certainly doesn't matter who's playing.
They couldn't miss. Cameron Payne, the Memphian, comes in off the bench, backup point, goes for 19, 7 assists, hit 5 of 7 threes. Saric was really good. They were all good. But Chris Paul was great. And for those who just have a personal grudge against Chris Paul, there's just, for whatever reason is you don't like the guy, swallow your pride. Chris Paul's an all-star. He's always been an all-star, but this is not all-star by name. He's an all-star by performance. And again, I love Ja Morant, and I would love to see Ja on the all-star team. But when you see the fact that Damian Lillard is not even a starter, and then who else is in that West that has to be on that all-star team? Chris Paul. Chris Paul is having a way better year than Ja Morant. Chris Paul's been great. I hate to say it. I want to swallow my pride, but he was fantastic and outplayed Ja. But that wasn't the difference in that game. Phoenix, as you said, hitting 24 of 46. You're not going to beat teams that shoot that well.
They missed their first 5 shots of the game, and then I felt like they didn't miss again. Like it just felt like every shot they put up went in from that point on. I'm like, my goodness gracious, somebody miss a shot. That was just that was an impressive offensive performance. I mean, you just look down the list. Bridges 4 of 5. Paul 4 of 5, yeah. Booker 5 of 7, Payne 5 of 7, Saric 3 for 5. Like everybody that played made multiple threes, and they didn't even have to attempt that many to do it.
Yeah, it was a killer for me when you're playing same game parlay, and you have Ja with a certain amount of assists and Jonas with a certain amount of rebounds, and those guys don't even play the fourth quarter because the game is so lopsided. And when you're watching Phoenix's offense go, you look at the scoreboard, and there's they're up 10. Now they're up 20. Now they're up 30. I mean, it was the Animal House line, right? That really escalated. Was that Animal House?
No, it's Anchorman.
Anchorman, sorry. Yeah, that really got out of hand. And it did. You turned around, it was a 30-point deficit. However, and I know I just said that it wouldn't have made a difference. It wouldn't have made a difference if LeBron James was on that team with the way they were shooting threes. But I don't care. I'm going to argue till I'm blue in the face. And I know there are some media people that they will never say anything negative about the Grizzlies. I don't understand. You have the Pistons on Friday. The Pistons. Zach, you, me, 2 others, we probably can beat the Pistons.
That Pistons team is one of the weirdest collections of players. Like, it is a very random collection of guys.
Exactly.
It's just bizarre the way they have put that roster together.
So you're going to rest Kyle Anderson and Grayson Allen. Because you have Dallas on Monday, you got the back-to-backs coming up with the Clippers. And you rest them both on Saturday against Phoenix. I don't understand that. And people, again, they're arguing, saying, people are stupid to bring that up because the Grizzlies No. You're playing Detroit. Rest them in that game, or rest one of them in that game. Stagger it a bit. Don't try to explain to me that it makes sense what they did, because it makes no sense. I'm not saying they're throwing the game, but they're waving the white towel early.
To me, the thing I don't really get why, especially Grayson Allen, needs a rest.
They got an all-star break coming up here soon.
He just sat out for quite some time. The whole team sat out for quite some time. He sat out even longer than the rest of the team did, because he wasn't back when they first got back. Grayson Allen has played in 20 games this year, 24 minutes per game. Like, that requires rest.
And it wasn't an injury, right? He was out because of the COVID. Correct?
Correct, yeah.
So it's he's done. That's in the rearview mirror. It's not like an ankle where now once in a while you want to rest the guy because it may add up. Even though he's not playing a lot of minutes, it may add up because of the ankle. The guy had COVID or was contact tracing, whatever the deal was with him. That's what he was out for. So they rest him. Makes no sense they rest them both together. And there are people, again, there are media people, I'd love to call out by name, that are arguing that they made the right call. They didn't make the right call. Again, would they have won the game? Probably not. But you're not giving yourself a chance. When you already have Clark out, and you have, obviously, Jaren Jackson's been out the whole season, and then Anderson and Grayson Allen, who are both playing great, especially Kyle Anderson, and instead of taking him out of the Friday game against Detroit or taking one of them out of the game Friday night, you take them both out of the Phoenix game. To me, you're not trying to lose, but you're waving the white flag. It makes no sense to me.
I think they're looking at it to, if you're going to rest those two guys, one of the two games. I'm not sure why, but if you've decided that, you make sure you win the Pistons game, and then you say, yeah, I mean, we're gonna kind of sacrifice the Phoenix game, but we're gonna make sure we win the Pistons game. We rest them against the Pistons, we might end up losing that game and going 0-2.
But what I'm saying is, first of all, you're playing the Pistons. They're dysfunctional. Number two, you don't rest both of them. You rest one of them in the Detroit game. One of them. You're going to win, and then you play
Are you
Phoenix.
Sure?
Well,
I mean, the Pistons have beaten some teams here recently.
but that's a defeatist attitude to go, you know what, let's make sure we beat Detroit because we're going to lose to Phoenix. No, it should be, we're not resting the guys either way, or we'll stagger.
Well, I wouldn't have rested them, but if they obviously believe they needed to rest them. So if they're going to rest them, I don't have a problem with the way they did it.
Can I say, like this past week, they played 4 games in 5 days, which is the first time the NBA has done this in a minute because they were trying to get rid of that type of scheduling.
Yes,
but they had to do that because they had to fill in the Oklahoma City game because of COVID reasons.
Correct.
This upcoming week is 3 games in 5 days. I'm not saying sure. A lot of people like yourself, Greg, you have reasons to say, they could have staggered the players because I was kind of okay, I guess we're resting everybody. But, when you got Dallas Clippers twice, Houston has your number, and to finish the rest off the first half of the schedule at Washington and then back at home against Milwaukee, is I'm not saying they tanked the game. I'm just saying, it kind of makes sense just to kind of have this as a scheduled rest because 7 games in the next 7 games in 10 days is ridiculous.
Your point is well taken, and I will counter with these are the best conditioned athletes in the world. Okay, these are 25 and 28 and 30-year-old men who are playing the game of basketball. Grayson Allen's playing 24 minutes, not coming off some type of ankle or knee injury, coming off the COVID, which was a couple of weeks ago, and he has to be rested. It makes no sense to me. Again, if they're playing every night, it makes no sense to me. It's basketball, for goodness sakes. Well, do you watch the game? I'm not talking about you, Zach, but just in general, watch a game. How long the starters are taken out. They're taken out. They're given so much rest. Then they come back in midway through the second quarter. They finish it up. Then they got their halftime. They play the 3/4 of the third, then they sit out until the middle of the fourth. They come back in crunch time. It's not that taxing. And I know I don't play the game, but believe me, back in the day, there was no, and you don't even have to go that far back to go, there were no rest days. But granted, I will buy into the rest day stuff. Okay, I'll give you the rest day stuff because, God forbid, they got to play 4 games in 5 days. But why do you rest them all on the same day? I don't care. You're waving the white flag against Phoenix. You're saying we can't beat you. That's what you're saying, and I don't like that defeatist attitude. That's my counter. Your points are well taken, though.
Yeah, and with Grayson Allen, because I think we talked about it this morning on Sports 56 Mornings. Sane brought up the point that even though Jason Tatum of the Boston Celtics, even though he's back and he's still playing like his normal self, he has came out and said that he still has not felt right from having COVID. Not this. I'm no doctor. I'm not gonna sit here and speculate that Grayson Allen is not feeling right after sitting out due to COVID protocols or whatnot. But that could very well be the case for Grayson Allen. He just needed we don't know how their bodies gonna acclimate with COVID in it. But granted, JV did play on against the Suns.
My question is, why is Kyle Anderson and Grayson Allen need rest and nobody else needed rest in 4 and 5 days?
And my argument is the same. Why on the same game? Let me buy into your deal, your theory about Grayson Allen. They give him off on Friday against Detroit, and then give yourselves a chance on Saturday against Phoenix. It's almost like they looked at it and said, nah, there's no way we can beat Phoenix. Okay, I don't like that attitude. So maybe I'm in the minority, or God forbid I say something negative about the Grizzlies because some of the media is just, so sold into everything they do is always right. I think what they do is a lot of times correct because I think this administration is the best they've had, and I praise them an awful lot. But I'm going to call them out when I think you should call them out, and I think you should call them out for this.
I mean, for instance, I would say, okay, why wouldn't Ja need rest, who was the one that actually was injured this year and has been playing more minutes than either one of those two guys?
First thing I thought of when I saw that who was not going to be playing on Saturday, the first thing I thought of, well, if you're going to go ahead and throw this game away, which, again, they're trying to win the game, but by the lineup you're putting out there and the reserves and how deep your rotation is, you have little chance. Why not give Ja the rest? Because he's got to play Dallas. They got the Clippers games coming up. Absolutely right. That's the thing I thought of. So anyway, they probably would have still lost to Phoenix, but really that's not an attitude to have, I think, as far as a team is concerned when you're trying to win. And that's what they're trying to do. But you didn't give Taylor Jenkins, the front office did much of a chance on Saturday with the lineup you gave him, with the reserves you gave him, with the bench depth you gave them. Okay, let's get to Justice Winslow when we return. He finally made his debut. And here's a guy who I'm not going to criticize, even though some people did for some reason. We'll talk about that when we return. Lawn Solutions is a locally owned weed control fertilization company that serves the greater Memphis area. Brandon Holly and his team of professionals can take care of your lawn. Guess what? I spotted some of the grass today. The ice and the snow is melting away. And what's under it? It's the grass, for goodness sakes. And I know right now during the winter months, it's dormant pretty much. But in the spring, the weeds will be sprung. And you don't want those weeds. So to get rid of those weeds, you call Lawn Solutions, 901-867-5626, or go online to lawnsolutionsinc.net. They control the germination of weeds all year long. They're applying pre-emergence during the winter months and post-emergence during the summer months to make sure when spring is sprung, those weeds aren't sprung. They can take care of any disease your lawn has or any insect infestation. It's Lawn Solutions. Call my friend Brandon Holly today at 901-867-5626 or go online to lawnsolutionsinc.net. You want to chime in on the Grizzlies? Text in on the First Bank text line 67129. Hit us up on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255. Justice Winslow. We'll talk about him when we return. This is Sports 56 Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 98.5.
Grab a seat for a happy hour with John Harden
Passengers will please fasten their seatbelts.
on Sports 56 Happy Hour. Weekdays from 1 to 3 on Sports 56, 98.5 FM and 96.1 FM.
Hi, this is Troy Five-Ash, owner of Five-Ash Roof Services. You've heard me talk about how we offer the best products, the best warranties, and the best services for years. Now let's talk about pricing. Pricing should never be the only reason you hire a contractor, but in today's world, pricing is always a consideration. So we suggest you get 2 or 3 estimates for your roof replacement from a reputable, licensed, and insured company, and then give us a call. If we can't beat your best price for a comparable roof system by more than $100, we'll give you $100. It's that simple. We are so sure we can offer you the best price, beating all other qualified companies. We will hand you $100 if we can't, and thank you for the opportunity. So give us a call. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? Make $100? Five-Ash Roof Services, a proud supporter of Tiger Athletics and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. Five-Ash Roof Services, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
All 75 months at 3.04%. Mirage MH002682, MSRP 16865, G4 MHF 01572, MSRP 18360, Outlander Sport MU004915, MSRP 24740. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax, title, and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month. Dealer stock only.
Ready, set, start your new year with a new ride from Gossett Mitsubishi on Covington Pike. Get the hatchback hero in 2021 Mirage, $12,342 or $129 a month. 2021 Mitsubishi Mirage G4, 41 mpg highway, $13,997 or $149 a month. And jumpstart your journey in 2021 Outlander Sport, $17,938 or $199 a month. And these are not leases. You own your new ride. Plus, you get Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. That's Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, or shop online at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Hey, Matthew, we need to restock those sleeping bags.
Indeed knows unexpected growth can stretch your business thin.
One of you cover this register?
Like at Anita's Outdoor Store.
Sorry.
To keep sales climbing, she needs to get started hiring right away.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. And the moment you sponsor a job on Indeed, you get a short list of quality candidates from our resume database. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get a $75 credit for your first sponsored job post. Terms and conditions apply.
Listen Sundays at 11 a.m. to join Idlewild Presbyterian Church for worship. Idlewild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Looking for a great place to deposit your money? Try First Bank. Competitive CD rates, a money market that moves with Wall Street prime and interest-bearing checking account options. Not to mention their friendly bankers who make decisions locally. To find out more, stop by one of First Bank's 3 local branches. 6482 Poplar Avenue, just east of International Paper. 8398 Highway 64 across from Wolf Chase. And 6280 Highway 64 in Oakland. Or visit firstbankonline.com. Member FDIC.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays. This hour is brought to you by Action247.com. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Because I'm a picker, I'm a grinner, I'm a lover, and I'm a sinner.
All right, so in that game on Saturday for the Grizzlies and their loss to Phoenix, we saw the long-awaited, much-anticipated debut of Justice Winslow. And I'll be honest with you, I was excited. I didn't expect much. He didn't provide much, but we saw glimpses, like flashes of what he can do. I don't think by any stretch of the imagination people should have an issue with this performance in his first game back in over a year. The fact that he was on the court made me smile. I was happy, and Grizzlies fans, I think you should be happy as well. He ended up playing 21 minutes, 9 points, 7 rebounds. He was just 3 of 14 from the field. Again, very rusty, 1 of 4 from 3. What did you think of Justice Winslow's debut?
Well, yeah, I mean, it was just he looked like a guy who hadn't played basketball in a really long time. And it's going to take a little time to get in shape and all that stuff and find his shot. But yeah, I mean, it's Justice Winslow has the potential to be a massive part of this team if he can stay healthy. And so to finally get him on the floor certainly it's great to see, and we'll see how they kind of treat him going forward here. We're talking about resting guys, like how much they wouldn't say what the minute restriction was on him. He actually played more than I thought he would. I was thinking
Me too.
There were maybe 15 minutes, something like that would probably be kind of the number they would put it at. But to play 21 minutes, it's a good sign. It's just good to see the guy healthy, because that has been his biggest problem in the NBA. He's trying to stay healthy, and hopefully he's able to stay healthy going forward and plays the rest of this season. And we get to see, once he really gets in shape and gets acclimated and they kind of get everybody back and figuring out rotations and what his role is, see what he actually is with this Grizzlies team.
Not to compare Winslow and Chandler Parsons, but there are similar aspects to their return from injury. When Parsons returned, he was missing shots as well, but you could see that he labored moving around the court. I thought Winslow moved pretty darn well. He crashed the boards. He got 7 boards from his guard or wing position, and the shooting will get there, I would think. So, yes, the whole question with Justice Winslow is not as whether he has talent or not. It's whether or not he could stay healthy. I'm happy. I don't care that he went 3 for 14. Yes, I would much rather have seen him go 9 of 14. But I think it's a great sign for the Grizzlies. And moving on for the rest of the season, he'll get better and better as long as, again, there's no setbacks. Now, Taylor Jenkins, talking to the media afterwards, seemed to indicate that he likes Winslow coming off the bench and having the ball in his hand. So, with that said, I can't imagine there'll be a lot of minutes with him and Ja on the court together, unless down the road it could be to finish games, closers. But that also means, Tyus Jones is your backup point guard. So if he's playing with Tyus, you would think Tyus would have the ball most of the time. So how do you come up with a scenario where Justice Winslow has the ball in his hands a lot of the times?
Well, I mean, you could certainly.
Is it like a Harden Irving thing?
Yeah, to me, I believe long term he needs to be in the starting lineup. Whenever I don't know when he'll be ready, kind of for that. But to me, I would put him out there in the starting lineup as a secondary playmaker to Ja, and allow Ja to do some things off the ball at times.
Mm-hmm.
I know that Kyle Anderson has been obviously great this year, and he fills that role kind of as the secondary playmaker guy. But I would rather see Justice in that role long term over Kyle Anderson.
So, without Jaren Jackson Jr., for example, tonight, what would be your starting lineup? And then give me one when Justice returns, or excuse me, when Jaren returns.
Well, I mean, I'm not starting Justice Winslow tonight.
No, I'm just saying let's say Justice had a few games under his belt and all that, you would go with the starting lineup that you just talked about with Justice in it. Who would be around him? What would it be?
I would have Justice at the 3, with Jonas, Ja. You said no Jaren?
No Jaren.
I would probably put Brandon Clark. Do we have Brandon Clark?
Yes.
Okay, I would put Brandon Clark at the 4 for that. And then...
Who would be your 2?
Probably Desmond Bain.
So you'd go Ja, Bain, Winslow, Clark, Valanciunas. And then if Jaren Jackson Jr. is back, then you would take Clark out of the lineup and put him in. So you'd have Kyle coming off the bench. You'd have Dylan Brooks coming off the bench. You'd have Grayson Allen coming off the bench.
Yes.
Okay.
But again, I mean, I don't know when, even if you wanted to put Justice in the starting lineup, I'm not sure. I mean, he hasn't played. He played one. He's been over a year without playing in a game.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what point it might be that if you were going to put him in the starting lineup, you feel like, okay, he's kind of back and ready. And again, I would assume they're going to baby him as much as possible in this return to avoid any further injury.
This I can understand.
So who knows how long he'll be kind of on a minutes restriction. Again, I'm sure, I would think probably on back-to-backs, there's a good chance he's not going to play one of those 2 games.
You would be right.
They're going to take this, I'm sure, very, very slowly with Justice Winslow. We got a text on the First Bank text line that says Winslow will probably be hurt by March. I mean, that's the feeling. That's the feeling.
Relax.
That's the thing.
Debbie Downer.
You brought up Chandler Parsons, and it was always the feeling once, whenever Chandler played, you always felt like you were counting down the days until he wasn't playing.
That's true.
It was like that, and I don't.
You weren't wishing it on him. You just thought it was going to happen.
You always felt like, okay, he's back playing. How many games before he has to start sitting out again because he's re-injured? I mean, with the track record of Justice Winslow, there's that same kind of feeling. I mean, you just like, okay, can he put together a long run of games played? Can he play the rest of this season? Mm-hmm. Even if you do take it cautiously and rest him at times, can he avoid injury and big chunks of missed games for the remainder of the season? It's always going to be the question mark until he proves that he can do it.
Here's the big difference between Parsons and Winslow. With Parsons, the investment that you made was an awful lot.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, that's not even the same. Yeah,
with Justice Winslow, it's not.
Compare about those 2 situations. Right. But yeah, it's just that feeling that some people will always have of like, great, he's playing. For how long, though?
No question.
It's always like, okay, but when's the next injury going to happen?
Late last night, and this is me going right before I went to bed, I went back to just check Twitter out. Didn't think anything else was happening. And then I saw the Minnesota Timberwolves made a coaching change. They fired Ryan Saunders. The Wolves had lost 24 of their last 31, including yesterday's game to the Knicks. And instead of naming an interim coach on their staff or anything like that, they hire Toronto assistant Chris Finch and give him a multi-year deal. So during the season, they fire their coach. That's not surprising. Coaches are fired at any time of the season. But to hire a guy immediately from another team's staff is pretty unusual. So they had to get the okay from Toronto and their ownership, Nick Nurse, the approval, because, yes, if one of their guys can get a head coaching gig, usually don't stand in the way. And Chris Finch is hired. And then you had people like Damian Lillard come out and others that said Vanderpool should get a gig. If anybody deserves a gig, it's David Vanderpool. But it's Chris Finch, and Saunders is out, and that is a mess in Minnesota.
Yeah, it's obviously a very strange thing to hire an assistant coach away from another team in the middle of the season. Grizzlies, the last one to do that. when they hired Lionel Hollins in 2009 away from the Bucks, but there was at least, Hollins had been here, all of that stuff. You kind of understood that situation a little bit more. Now, there is a tie between Finch and Gerson Rosas, the man in charge at Minnesota. They go back to their Houston days together. But it's weird because if you're Minnesota, like, what is there really that big of a need to have him in place for the rest of this season?
No.
Like, you're terrible. You know you're going to be terrible. You're not doing anything this year.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't you have just waited, let him coach out the rest of the year in Toronto, then bring him in the offseason? Like, I don't understand the need to get him in immediately. Because it's just weird. I mean, for a head coach to be able to come in the middle of a year, like, you're not going to be able to put, how much of your stuff are you going to be able to put in? Like, that's got to be an awkward situation to try and come in as a head coach and put any kind of your stamp on things in the middle of a season.
A lot of things are determined by supply and demand. What was the demand for Chris Finch? What would be the demand for Chris Finch after the season? It's just like when they up a coach's contract by giving him an extension of 5 years when it's not like any other teams or any other schools are going after that coach, or you don't perceive that any will. So this one, a supply and demand question, I'm not so sure why you do that. Yes, and you're right about implementing a system. Now, by bringing in this coach, are you telling the players, especially any players that will be unrestricted free agents, here's who we have. So when you make your decision, and if we want you, here's who you know will be our coach. I can't imagine they're doing anything to aid the players' decisions for the future, but that's one way to look at it and say, look, here you go. We're not going to sit there in limbo. This is the direction we're going in. And you can look up Chris Finch's history and resume, and you can decide whether or not you want to be a part of this train moving forward.
Well, and I mean, there are some advantages to it. Like, he gets to come in and assess these players right now. Like, he can, look at and see what he's got as a head coach and know and kind of see it in action and assess that for the rest of the year, to have input in the offseason and kind of figure out what's going to work and what they want to do going forward.
Right.
And the players get to know him. And yeah, I mean, there are some advantages to it, but it's just it's still it's a little weird to just do that in the middle of the year, because I just don't know. I mean, what is he going to use the old staff that was there? Like, what staff is he using?
I would imagine he is.
You could bring your own staff in. Like, you're not going to be able to find a bunch of, you're going to find a bunch of guys who are out of work. You're not going to, can't pull people from it. So it just seems like it would be a difficult situation for him to come into, and how much can you really put in place during this time?
Yeah, forget about it being difficult for him. It's going to be difficult for all the players. It's going to be difficult for all those coaches you just talked about, not knowing whether they're going to be a part of the future. It's almost like they're doing an audition the rest of the season for Chris Finch now, who came out of nowhere. Just a real mess in Minnesota. And you feel bad for Ryan Saunders, of course, the son of the late Flip Saunders. It just did not work out. All right, on the court last night, one of the later games. What a game. The Nets and the Clippers. What a game. No Kevin Durant again. And the Nets go undefeated on their West Coast road trip. Now, there was controversy in the end because of the Harden situation with Kawhi. Did he flop? Did he not flop? And the Nets pulled it out in the end of that game. But the bad blood seems to be brewing between those two. It could be that we see them in the final. I know the Lakers are going to be favored again out of the West, the defending champions, but it's not out of the question. You could see the Clippers and the Brooklyn Nets. There was Patrick Beverly and the bad blood there with Harden. They used to be teammates. I kind of like what I saw last night with the Nets and the Clippers, a regular season game that seemed like and felt like, from watching it on television, a postseason game.
That's an impressive little road trip for the Nets. I mean, to go undefeated, and in 3 of those games are the Suns, Lakers, and Clippers, 3 of the better teams. Now, granted, the Lakers shorthanded without Anthony Davis, but
the Nets know Kevin Durant.
You're missing the best of those 3 players to win those, to go undefeated in that road trip, beating those teams. That's a very impressive road trip for the Nets, and a statement for sure.
Well, Coach Kyrie, who said he would be the 2 and James would be the 1, whatever it is, it's working. because watching the chemistry between those two, as I did, I had vested interest with my same game parlay, which fell apart in the end. Thanks for not playing Serge Ibaka there in the final quarter. But anyway, those two seem to have chemistry. Now, the big three have only played together a limited amount of games. So we're still waiting to see a long run of games between those three guys on the court at the same time. But Kevin Durant seems like he would be the easiest one to integrate. You would think that the problems, if there were problems, was going to be between Irving and Harden because they both need the basketball. But the chemistry seemed to be there watching them the last few games, especially that game last night. So, yeah, nice performance by Brooklyn. Steve Nash just kind of kicking back in his big old Barca lounger and watching and watching this talented team do what they did. DeAndre Jordan was really good last night with a double-double. One other NBA note, the All-Star reserves will be announced tomorrow on TNT. This is a coach's decision. Again, it would be nice to see Ja Morant make the team. He's going to make a number of All-Star teams. I don't know if there's a spot for him this season. There's just too many really good players having really good seasons, especially in the West. I still believe that they should extend the rosters to 15. It won't answer all the questions, but at least it gives three other players an opportunity, even if they don't play that much. Just an honor to be a part of the All-Star game, although this year maybe not so much.
Yeah, this year they don't. This year the players might want to shrink the roster. They'll just take 5 guys. Just take 5. We're fine not going there.
Like 5-minute quarters.
Get it over with.
Just play a game of 3-on-3. Make it like the big 3. Let's just play games of a little 3-on-3 game, and be done with it. And then do your little dunk contest in the halftime or whatever you're doing.
But I'm going to be more curious. I hate the dunk contest anymore. I used to love it. I don't care for it anymore. But I'm going to be real curious if they're still going to allow those guys. Did they put a time limit now on the dunk? Okay, how long is halftime going to be? Because you know these guys, they throw it up. Oh, it didn't bounce high enough. Let me start again. Well, you're not going to have like a 2-hour halftime. So these guys in the locker room are just sitting around and waiting. They're going to have to get. I don't know. They got to put a clock up on these guys.
I assume they're not. I mean, I don't know how many guys they're going to put in it. I don't know what. Again, I don't know why they don't just judge the dunks in the game. Make that your dunk contest because that's what the game will be anyway.
Yeah, because what you're probably doing now, you're not using the guys who are playing in the game to stick around at halftime to dunk. So that means you're bringing in more players for the dunk contest.
Oh, I would assume it is guys that are in the game.
You think so?
That would be my assumption.
So do you believe that the skills, which is going to take place before the game, the skills competition and the three-point shooting competition, is going to be all guys that were picked for the All-Star game?
I don't think it'll be all, but I think there will be some.
There'll be some, but they're going to bring in – so what I'm saying is they're bringing in a lot more guys because of these other things. And you're trying to limit. Yet you're bringing in more people to run this stupid All-Star Saturday night thing, which will not happen on Saturday, will be part of the whole All-Star day. So you have more players, again, in a little arena, even though there probably won't be fans, I imagine, right?
I don't even know what they're doing as far as fans are concerned.
Could be a limited amount, but I'm not sure if they will.
This hour of the program is brought to you by Action247.com. You can be betting today if you want, and any day. There's still stuff every single day for you to bet on, from basketball to soccer to tennis, whatever's going on. They've got lines for you. They are the local sports book here in the state of Tennessee, owned and operated by Tennesseans for Tennesseans at Action 24/7. You can go to the website, download the app to your phone. Don't forget they have places around the state where you can do cash deposits and cash withdrawals. And there are some locations here in the Memphis area that allow you to do that. You can find the full list by going to their website at action247.com. They still have free games that you could play to win real cash as well. Don't forget, with your initial deposit at Action 24/7, use the promo code WHBQ100. That's all capitals on the WHBQ. WHBQ100 will get you a match of your initial deposit up to $100. So they double that deposit up to $100. Just free money for you to get started with Action 24/7.
The Grizzlies, they're playing tonight. The Tigers are playing Wednesday. They return to practice on Saturday. We'll talk about the Tigers' return after a couple of week hiatus when we return. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, and 98.5.
Let Dave Volosian and Brett Nordsworthy take you home with Sports Time on Sports 56. Weekday afternoons from 3 to 6 on Sports 56, 98.5 and 96.1.
One of the things I love about betting on basketball is I'm always finding new player props or game props that I like. And what's cool about FanDuel Sportsbook is you can combine those props with other bets from the same game to score an even bigger payout. It's called a same-game parlay bet, and you can only find them on FanDuel. I'm in love with this type of bet. What I like to do is take players' points, rebounds, assists, mix it up, and then make my bet. And right now, new and existing users can get up to $25 back each day if your parlay falls one leg short with same-game parlay insurance every single day. That's why I bet on FanDuel. Plus, it's easy to use, fast withdrawals. They have great odds boosts and specials. So just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app today to try a same-game parlay and use promo code GASMAN at sign-up. That's promo code GASMAN. Must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. Refund issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 7 days. Max refund $25. Terms apply. See sportsbook.fanduel.com for details. For problem gambling support, call 1-800-889-9789.
I want to do some bragging rights. Hey, I was just the other day overhearing a conversation with Big Mike, the manager of DeSoto Auto Sales. They've got people buying cars all over the country. North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Arkansas, Texas. People from all over the country buy cars at DeSoto Auto Sales in Olive Branch, Mississippi. Why? DeSoto Auto Sales has the most stringent car inspection in America. They get it right the first time. Quality and low mileage, factory warranty on most vehicles. My favorite part is the people who work there. Big Mike, all the employees are professional, friendly, and go that extra mile. Expect as you walk in the door, you are treated like family. DeSoto Auto Sales understands your time matters. We can help you find your dream car and get all the paperwork finished in less than an hour. Come see us at DeSoto Auto Sales and be part of our family. Have a great buying experience every time. 662-890-7184.
Whether it's football, basketball, baseball, golf, or real estate, having the winning coach makes all the difference in your success. This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Marks Bensdorf Realtors, and I'm with Coach Terry Tippett, winner of 6 state basketball championships. Coach, what's been the secret to your and your team's successes?
Sheldon, there's no one secret. It becomes a pattern of success after coaching for so many years and learning the ins and outs of the game and the players, a lot like the pattern of your success in selling homes.
Thanks, Coach. Like you and your program, I developed my highly successful strategic marketing program with the Shellbucks option, and I also tried to use it in my golf game.
Sheldon, tried is the optimum word. You better stick to selling homes, as you're always hitting holes in one at that, instead of double bogeys.
Thanks a lot. And if anyone is thinking of selling their home, make sure and talk to 2 to 3 coaches. I mean real estate brokers. Let me be one of them. You can reach me at 682-1868 or memphisrelocate.com. That's 682-1868 or memphisrelocate.com and be a winner.
Looking for some action? Sports gambling is legal in Tennessee. Action247.com. Local, legal. A sportsbook by Tennesseans, for Tennesseans. Go to Action247.com. Register and place your bets. Are you a sharp or a first-time bettor? Action 24/7 has you covered. Visit us online at Action247.com. Local, legal. Action 24/7. You got action.
Problem gambling? Call 1-800-889-9789.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays. This hour is brought to you by Action247.com. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
We got a text here, Greg. Somebody's concerned about you, and they call it your gambling inadequacies.
Yeah. I'm concerned too.
It's not me. It's not me. I did not text that in. I'm just reading it.
Yeah, luckily I enjoy it because I'm betting small amounts. This isn't like the old days. Back in the day, years ago.
Because you come in complaining an awful lot, so you are enjoying it.
I am though, because there is something about having action on a game. There is something, but I am very good at being able to turn it off because years ago when I first got into television, 84, 85, I used to bet an awful lot, and I stopped cold turkey. And then I hadn't gambled again. Now, once in a blue moon, I go down and play maybe some cards at the casino or craps 3 times a year, twice a year, whatever it is. So no big deal. Now they got legal gambling here in Tennessee, so it's a little bit different. But I'm betting small amounts. So I'm having fun, but now I'm starting to get frustrated because I'm starting to believe that if I bet the team, I'm jinxing the team. And I got to lose that attitude here. I got to lose it. But when you have things like, again, a player needs 1 point and they don't play him in the fourth quarter because they're resting him because of minutes, or like Paul George was rested because of minutes and he was mad that he wasn't in there at the end for the Clippers, or the team is getting blown out like the Grizzlies were on Saturday. That's kind of a frustrating thing. But I don't play that much. And again, once this goes down, I've already banked money. I'm ahead. I'm winning. So I'm good. But I'm not going to go back. I'm not going to dip in. I'm not like that. So, yes, there is a reason to be concerned. Thank you to our listener. But I'm okay. I'm okay. But what I should do is announce a bet every day and then have people bet the opposite. Do a George Costanza. And then they'll end up winning buku bucks. I should have jumped all over Novak Djokovic. I don't know why I didn't at the Australian Open.
The number one seed, yes. That's probably would have been a good guy to jump all over.
Well, going into the finals, he's going up against Medvedev, who had won the semis. I bet against Medvedev in the semis, so I lost that one. And Djokovic wins. Where do I have it written down? I think that's number... Where is it? Number 18 as far as Grand Slams are concerned. Half of them are Aussie Open titles. Single titles.
He's undefeated there when he's the number one seed. He's I saw yesterday. I think he's 42-0 at the Australian Open as the number one seed.
And he got hurt earlier in might have been the quarterfinals or even before that, and it looked like he may have to pull out. And remember, what was the deal with when he got ejected from was that the U.S. Open when he hit the ball at the ball person? Wasn't he ejected from one of the majors recently?
I don't remember what tournament that was.
It may have been the U.S. Open. So here's a guy who right now has 18 majors. 9 of them are Aussie Opens, and these are singles titles, not doubles titles. They're not included. He's 2 now behind Federer and Nadal. They each have 20, and Djokovic is 18. You talk about a dominating trio. Over the last 20 years, these guys, it's just nuts. It's nuts what Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic have done. And that's why tennis, especially here in the United States, men, forget about it. There's nobody that can compete. And I don't know if there's this.
Well, the whole question is who these three can't play forever. Who is going to be the next? Because they're like, listen, I don't follow tennis. I've lost interest in tennis many years ago. But it just, is there anybody coming up that is going to be, that could kind of take over for these three guys?
See, this is a question
because Federer's pretty much done.
Right.
Nadal's getting pretty close. Now,
yes.
He'll still dominate at the French, I'm sure, because that's what he does. I mean, Djokovic certainly still plays at a high level, but how many more years does he have left?
This is a question for Chuck Melkent. However, I don't know if there are any Americans on the horizon. And I lost interest once the tennis tournament left Memphis.
What happened to is the one dude still playing, the English guy that was like always the fourth?
Andy Murray.
Yes.
He came out of retirement to play, and then he couldn't play in the Australian Open. I'm not sure if that was COVID-related, but he's come back. But
so he is retired.
No, he came out of retirement. So he's back, but he skipped the Aussie Open because of, I want to say maybe COVID contact tracing. It may have been an injury. But there's nobody on the horizon from this country, like the Taylor Fritzes of the world and Isners. They're not happening, man. They win every once in a while. Sam Querrey. We've had all those guys on our show when the tennis tournament used to be here. But the young players and the up-and-comers are from other countries, not the United States. The United States is pretty good with women. The female players are pretty good.
Are there even young up-and-coming guys from other countries?
I'm sure there are.
Like because these guys keep winning. Even though they're the old guys, they keep winning.
Yeah, I don't know how old the Greek guy is who beat Nadal in the quarters. I forget how to pronounce his name. Zverev is another guy. These are young players. They're pretty good. There's I don't know. Who's the guy that always gets? He's like the John McEnroe of today's tennis. Kyrgios or something like that.
That dude's a lunatic.
Yeah, but he's not 35 years old. I imagine
he's
in his 20s.
He's a lunatic. He's not going to win anything because he's a lunatic.
But he's entertaining to watch.
That's exactly right. But McEnroe was good, great,
yes,
and
McEnroe was good.
entertaining. But the
McEnroe didn't just go out there and throw matches like that guy does.
Right, but the future for men's tennis in this country, I don't know. But let's give a big shout out to Joe Salisbury, who played his collegiate tennis at the University of Memphis. He won a doubles title at the Australian Open. He's won a few majors now, playing doubles, not singles. Joe Salisbury, I forget who his partner was, but congratulations to a former Memphis Tiger winning a major in men's doubles at the Australian Open.
Good for him. Makes a great steak as well.
He makes a terrific steak. When we come back, hour number 2 of the program, we'll kick things off with the Tigers. They're back. They're practicing. They're ready to take the court for a game on Wednesday. We will discuss that. We'll go over college basketball from the weekend as we're down to the final 2 weeks of the regular season before conference tournament play begins. We got the whole situation with Deion Sanders at Jackson State and his first win and the stuff that was stolen. And then an apology by the kid who just made himself look like an ass with Cam Newton. We will discuss all these stories coming up in hour 2. Keep it right here on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 98.5.
Hey everybody, the new 2021 Silverados are officially here. I'm out here at Olive Branch at All-Star Chevrolet looking at all these hot new trucks. Want a new Silverado? All-Star has all the Silverados. New 2020s, new 2021s, 0 for 72 months available right now. And you gotta know if it's a new Chevy you want, Olive Branch is where you want to be. New 2021 Equinoxes, Blazers, and the third row Traverses. All right, you want to talk about some deals? Go to allstarautogroup.com and look at all the slightly driven demos. Previous loaners, All-Star has dozens of certified pre-owned Chevys, Tahoes, Silverados, Impalas, and everybody at All-Star Chevrolet has one job: to make sure you get the best deal, have more fun, and in record time. Remember, it's not Mount Moriah, not the Pike, not South Haven or Collierville. It's got to be Olive Branch, people. So find new roads to Kraft Goodman Road in Olive Branch or go online at allstarautogroup.com.
Need to sell your home? You're in luck because I buy houses. All you have to do is call Bill at 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Grab that PIN, 901-406-1101, or just save it in your phone. Bill at I Buy Houses. I Buy Houses buys houses in any area, in any condition, at any time. As simple as that. I Buy Houses is guaranteed to close in 5 days. So if you need your cash fast, just call Bill at I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. Has your house been on the market? Were you just tired of renters? Or is it just time to start over? Well, avoid repairing, cleaning, painting, and prepping your house. Just pick up the phone and call Bill at 901-406-1101. That's Bill at I Buy Houses. If you're in Southwind, South Memphis, North Mississippi, North Memphis, Collierville, if you can hear this, just call my friend Bill at I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101.
Case IH is a proud supporter of the Mississippi Farm Bureau, and thanks to a membership benefits partnership, Mississippi Farm Bureau members receive a discount of up to $500 on every qualifying Case IH tractor and piece of equipment you purchase. This discount may be used with other promotions, rebates, or offers. So join Mid-South Ag Equipment and the Mississippi Farm Bureau and pocket up to $500 in savings. Call Mid-South Ag at 662-890-3141 to get your discount today.
The fun continues at Family Leisure with a brand new Factory Direct pool and patio sale. The new 2021 inventory is in. You got to get ready now and beat the rush. Become the first one to have your pool installed. They have spas in stock, and those are ready for installation right now, too. Complete your backyard with a new set of patio furniture, all state-of-the-art. Special financing available. Family Leisure, I-40 and Whidden Road, where family and fun come together.
2021 is finally here. Might I suggest we start the wonderful new year with a makeover for your beautiful house. I'm Brian Elder. I'm a roofer. I fix roofs. Don't let them tell you that it has to be replaced when all it may need is some love. 867-0303. Let me love on your roof. I've made quite the reputation over the last decade as the guy to call after the insurance company denies the claim. Overturning a claim that has gone bad is an art form where you argue county code, manufacturer specs, and details of your policy that they have to abide by. So let me see it first. If I say it's a claim, it's a claim. 867-0303. Money is free at Brian Elder Roofing with 0% financing for half a decade. I'll measure your roof from outer space and get you a quote right over the phone. 867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
The President's Day sales event is going strong at Gossett Kia on Covington Pike. 2021 Kia Forte $133 a month lease. That's less than $5 a day for a new ride. 2021 Kia Soul completely redesigned exterior and interior $149 a month lease. And 2021 Kia K5 just $182 a month lease. All 36 months with $3149 due at signing, and they all come with Kia's 10-year 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So let's conquer the cold and gear up for winter in your new Kia from Gossett Kia 1900 Covington Pike, or online at KiaCovingtonPike.com. Ask for Bobby J. He'll put you in a new Kia today.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 36-month leases, $3149 due at signing, 0 security deposit, 10,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage, $650 acquisition fee, Forte, ME3 19038, MSRP $20,625, Soul, M7755,638, MSRP $20,660, K5 MG 005560, MSRP $25,725, includes all manufacturer rebates and incentives, PF $695, excludes tax title and license, with approved credit, see dealer for complete details, offer valid through 3/1/21, dealer stock only.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, W253DF Memphis, and WIVG Tunica Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, back to Sports 56 Middays. This hour of Sports 56 Middays is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers at 4900 Poplar. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back. 11:04 the time. Hour number 2 here on Sports 56 Middays, the Monday, February 22nd, 2021 edition. Final week for the month of February. Then we turn around and we're in March, and March Madness and all that good stuff. So spring and summer, not that far away. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Zach Boyd in today for Gabe Kuhn. We are in the Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road. That's just north of I-40. James Gaddis Jewelers is the second hour of Sports 56 Middays each and every day. And every Monday and Friday, they bring you the Memphis Sports Fact. Did you know, as we celebrate Black History Month, back in the days when segregation existed, it was not uncommon for high school football teams to play local college teams. In the 1920s, the only black high schools to play football was Washington and Manassas, and they would play Lemoyne, now, of course, known as Lemoyne-Owen. They all played in the Negro Prep League. They played for what they called the Ellington Cup. Lemoyne also played in the 30s and 40s against historically black colleges and universities like Tennessee State, Arkansas Pine Bluff, and Alcorn State. James Gaddis Jewelers, second hour sponsor, Sports 56 Middays, located at 4900 Poplar Avenue between Mendenhall and St. Elmo, on the web at GaddisJewelers.com. They are your bridal, engagement, and anniversary jeweler headquarters. Been serving Memphians and Mid-Southerners in that same East Memphis location for over 24 years. They are full-service jewelers with 2-bench jewelers ready to serve you. James is a master jeweler, certified appraiser. So if you need something appraised, just go on in and ask for James. He's a diamondologist, and he's graded by the Gemologist Institute of America. So he can help you pick out that right rock. But it's not just the diamonds. They have the pearls and rubies, emeralds, sapphires, watches of all types, including new and pre-owned Rolexes. Also, they will buy your gold and silver, and gold is on absolute fire. They can customize jewelry, make it to your specifications, and if you like, provide a free 3D rendering of what it will look like in just 2 days. It's James Gaddis Jewelers, 4900 Poplar Avenue between Mendenhall and St. Elmo, on the web at GaddisJewelers.com. All right, so the Tigers returned to work on Saturday. Penny had said that he believed by no later than Saturday they would be back, and they were. Don't have many details from practice on whether or not everybody was available, but they're going to play Wednesday night at home against Tulane. So it's over 2 weeks since they played, and how sharp they'll be will be determined when we watch them play on Wednesday. It's going to be tough to turn around, not play in over 2 weeks, and be as sharp as you can be, especially the way they were playing, Eli, before they were shut down. But good news that they're back. The other thing is it doesn't appear, at least right now, that Mike Oresco is going to do any adjusting of the schedule.
Yeah, I mean, if they were going to do it, it needs to be getting done soon with only the 2 weeks remaining. So I would guess that you probably are not going to see much done. If you're coming back from a long layoff, Tulane, I guess, is probably as good a team as any to be taking on in that situation because they are bad. And we'll see. Yeah, I mean, I would imagine. I mean, because it's one thing to go a long period without playing games, but it's another thing when you've just not been able to do anything. You haven't been able to practice or anything, and you're only going to get a few practices in here before you actually have to play a game. And I don't know if who's going to, if there's going to be guys not available or whatever. Did you see the situation that happened to Louisville over the weekend with their North Carolina game?
No, other than they got clobbered.
Well, they asked because they were going to, because of their situation and guys coming back, they had enough to play on Saturday, but they would have had a lot more guys available on Sunday. Mm-hmm. So they had asked North Carolina to move the game back to Sunday, and North Carolina said, no. No. So they had nobody available for the game. They had just enough to play, I think it was.
Oh, that's why they got clobbered. I had no idea.
So it was, I mean, they were talking about that in one of the earlier games that they had called North Carolina wanting to move it back to Sunday because that would give them more guys. And North Carolina just said, yeah, no, we're not going to do that.
All is fair in love and war. Now, here's the thing. Like we just talked about, who knows if every Tiger is available and they're just getting back to practice, let alone having to play a game on Wednesday. But if you look at the schedule, now I don't know if this is fair and they would want to do it. But remember, they already missed a game against Cincinnati. They're going to Cincinnati this weekend. Why not play 2 in Cincinnati? Why not go up and play? Is it Sunday they're scheduled to play Cincinnati?
Yes.
Why not play Friday and Sunday at Cincinnati? I know you lose a home game, but you're not going to make that game up anyway, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, these are things I think they have to be thinking about right now of what are the ways, if any way, to get at least some of these games in. Road wins, if you can get them, are nice to have if you're trying to build a tournament resume. So, yeah, I mean, I think they got to look and say, how many of these games are we really wanting to make up? And is it as many as possible? And if so, how do we go about doing that?
Now,
you've got a trip to Cincinnati. You've got Houston coming here. Mm-hmm. Those are 2 teams that you've missed games against. Is there some way to mix in an extra game against those 2 teams?
Yeah, and is Oresco's word the final word? If Mike Oresco said, yes, listen, I want Memphis and Cincinnati to play Friday and Sunday in Cincinnati, can Penny say no or Brandon say no?
He has left it up to the teams for the most part. I mean, it has been up to the schools to try and reschedule these for the most part. They're not the conference. From what Jeff Crane was saying, the conference isn't stepping in for the most part. It's up to the schools to try and get it rescheduled.
Well, the conference is in a little bit better position right now after what Wichita State did to Houston. Now, there's no guarantees that Wichita State will still make the tournament. But they're on the road now. They're on the path to making the tournament, and that would be 2 from the American because for the most part of the season, up until now, it was Houston, and that's it, unless somebody pulls off a big upset in the conference tournament. Houston was a little bit upset with losing that game against Wichita State. They took it out on the aforementioned Cincinnati Bearcats, 90-52.
Yeah, it was a nail-biter. Real close there. That's Houston that's shown the ability. They've done that to a few teams this year. That they get things going, man. They will absolutely just bury teams.
But that's Cincinnati. How embarrassing. Cincinnati. Every single year up until this year, Cincinnati was a challenge, whoever it was. Through Huggins' days, all those great teams, and then it was Cronin and all those great teams. And Brannon's a well-respected coach, but this is not good. This is a Cincinnati team that gets punked by 38 points. You just don't see that.
Yeah, this is as bad a Cincinnati team as we have seen in quite some time.
It's not good for the conference. It's not good to see Cincinnati this bad, and then you lose Connecticut, and Connecticut's playing very well in the Big East in their first year back in the Big East. Elsewhere in college basketball over the weekend, let's start in the SEC. I don't know what to say about Tennessee anymore. But I'm telling you, I'm not going to have them going far in my office pool. They lost to Kentucky 70-55.
They can't score. They're a great defensive team for the most part, but they struggle on the offensive end of the court, like so many others that we see, including the one here in the city of Memphis so often. They have these games where they just can't make shots at all. And I don't care how good your defense is, if you're going to go out and score in the 50s, you're going to really struggle to win games. It's hard to win games in the 50s these days of college basketball with the way people shoot the three-point shot.
I know Springer and Keon Johnson are one-and-doners, but should they be one-and-doners? Are they good enough, well-rounded games to play in the NBA right now? You just talked about how the team's struggling
right now. I don't know. Are they good enough to get drafted highly in the NBA? Yes.
Yes.
That's all that matters.
Right.
Are they good enough to make millions of dollars next year? Yes.
Because you've seen it with Duke and Kentucky. Like they bring in the guys, the high-level recruits, and they all fit in within this system that Coach K and Coach Cal have them running. And then once they get themselves into the NBA, whole different player, i.e. Devin Booker.
Yeah, there are a lot of guys, you're right, there are a lot of guys that were mediocre in school. Now, maybe they didn't have enough time to develop, right? One and done, they're gone. But then all of a sudden they're developing right in front of our very eyes in the NBA. Now, not all of them. There have been duds. Scalabissier has been a dud. He's not even in the NBA right now. But there have been many that have, you looked at them and go, I don't remember them being that good in college. And all of a sudden in the NBA, they're really, really good. So they're quality players. But with the lack of scoring that you just mentioned with Tennessee, where is Springer's game? Where is Keon Johnson's game? But that's a Tennessee team right now I don't even want to touch. And what about Coach Cal? It is still a record that's 5 under 500, right? 5 below 500, I believe. Is that right, 8-13?
They are, yes, 8-13.
Yeah, so you're not going to the tournament. Unless all of a sudden you go on this crazy run and win the conference tournament. And it's not crazy that they could do it because of all the talent they have. And you know that Calipari's teams always play better as the season progresses. This one took a long time. But right now, Kentucky's starting to put some wins together.
Well, I mean, it's you certainly look around the SEC. One, it's a tournament that has been dominated by Kentucky throughout the years. Now, they won't have the massive amounts of fan that they normally have and dominating the crowd there for that in Nashville. But if you look around the conference, Alabama's really good. And they've beaten Kentucky twice and beat them pretty comfortably both times. But, I mean, I wouldn't say like, boy, there's just no way Kentucky could beat Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's nobody in the conference that you would say it would be a shock for Kentucky to beat.
Yeah, I think is it wide open? Maybe not wide open, but there are a lot of teams that I wouldn't be shocked if they won the conference tournament. Kentucky is one of them. I wouldn't be shocked if LSU ran the table. I wouldn't be shocked, obviously, if Missouri won, if Florida won. Vanderbilt has been playing really, really well. They could pull a couple upsets. They took Bama down to the wire over the weekend. Bama won 82-78, but Bama's winning all those close games. That's the difference right now between Alabama and everybody else in that conference. Alabama is not putting up bad losses. They're finding ways to win those close games.
By the way, Vanderbilt, very impressive with back-to-back losses by the exact same final score to Kentucky and Alabama.
You get any bonus for that?
That's hard to do. That's very difficult to do. Look, Alabama's no doubt the favorite. But, yeah, I mean, Tennessee could put it together again and make Missouri
sure.
Certainly, like all those teams. But Kentucky is obviously talented enough to put it together over a few days and win that tournament.
Rank the top 4 teams in the SEC by sheer talent.
By sheer talent?
Sheer talent. You look up and down that roster.
I would probably put it's either Tennessee and LSU are 1-2.
So you wouldn't put Kentucky in there? Sheer talent.
No.
I'm not saying guys that haven't
they're not
fulfilled.
They're not as talented as those two teams. I don't think. I might put Kentucky 3, but I think if it and on pure talent, I'm not sure Auburn's not more talented than Kentucky. They're just really young.
I think you're undervaluing the talent that's been assembled at Kentucky. They just haven't lived up to the expectations.
This group he has now isn't the top 10 kids that he's had normally.
It's still pretty darn good. They got the Sarr kid as
Auburn's
the transfer.
Got 2 5-star kids. Tennessee has 2 5-star kids in this recruiting class, this freshman class.
How many does Tennessee or does Kentucky have?
I don't know for sure.
They got to have a 5-star, right?
What, Kentucky?
Yes.
Well, no, BJ Boston, he's on there. Yeah, so there's 1, 2, so I'm counting at least 3.
At least 3 5-stars.
Because it's Devin Askew, Brandon Boston, and Terrence Clark.
And then they got the transfer. I don't know what Sarr was.
Sarr, I think he went from, Stanford?
No, he was South Carolina, Eli? Sarr?
No, he was from out west.
Oh, he was? Is he a 5-star?
Well, I'm not sure if he's a 5-star, but I know he was out west. And then Obi Toppin's little brother, Jacob, came from Dayton.
See, I still think that Kentucky has as much or more talent than any of them. But then you said LSU, Tennessee, certainly right there. Yeah, I mean, and I don't know how much talent like 5-star, 4-star, 3-star guys like Alabama has. All I know is that they're playing some great basketball for Nate Oates. Then we have a bad loss for Ole Miss over the weekend. Ole Miss got into the NCAA tournament picture and then lost at home to Mississippi State, who had been playing some poor basketball, by 10, 66-56. Bad loss for Kermit Davis's team.
Let me clarify real quick.
Sure.
Jacob Toppin, that he came from Rhode Island. Not Dayton.
Okay, and see if you could check if Toppin and Sarr were 5-star guys.
Toppin was at Rhode Island. He wasn't a 5-star guy.
No, he wasn't.
Close.
He was a transfer.
There was a guy named Lamar Odom that played at Rhode Island.
Who probably wasn't a 5-star there either.
Probably wasn't.
And Sarr, I don't think Sarr was probably anywhere close to that either.
Yeah, but they're probably going to have more 5-star guys than anybody else. Now, how many does Tennessee
Sarr's
have?
from Wake Forest. It wasn't out west. It's Wake Forest.
Okay, yeah, I said South Carolina, but I thought it was somewhere in that region. But anyway, how many of the Tennessee guys are 5-stars? Springer's a 5-star, right?
Springer and Johnson, I think, were both 5-stars.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about the rest of them.
Pond wasn't.
Well, Pond is he's a veteran guy who's been shown to be a very good college basketball
Yeah, but
player.
he's not I'm just talking about if you look at the rankings from the talent standpoint. Because obviously Kentucky, if you just look at how they have what they have achieved, they've underachieved for as many talented players as they have. What was the question I just asked you? No, I asked you about Ole Miss.
It's a situation that, much like Tennessee, Ole Miss deals with all the time. They have trouble scoring because they can't shoot. If you can't shoot the three, again, if you're gonna score in the 50s, like it's hard. It's impossible games to win, and they have. They battle that. With shooting problems, they battle these games where they just go out there and they're going to miss a bunch of shots and they're not going to be able to score enough to, even when they hold a team into the 60s, they still can't win it.
Where do you think that puts them now? I mean, they're on the outside looking in, obviously.
Well, now they're in. That's a, if that would have been on the road, it would have been one thing, but at home, that's a bad loss. And again, they don't have many opportunities remaining. They get Missouri tomorrow night. At Missouri, probably a game they have to win now to have any chance. They still have Kentucky at home, but what will a Kentucky game mean? And then they got Vanderbilt as well. But yeah, it's that puts them in a dire situation and makes a win tomorrow night a must. And I'm not sure even that would be enough if they win out the rest of the regular season. They probably still need at least one good win over one of the top teams in the SEC tournament.
Yeah, according to Rivals, Sarr was a 4-star prospect and Toppin was a 3-star prospect.
All right, thank you very much. All right, when we come back, we'll take a look at the national scene in college basketball it was actually a pretty good weekend for the Blue Bloods. Some of these teams that are on the outside looking in picked up big wins. What it will mean, who knows? But at least those teams have a pulse. And why do they have a pulse? Because they have good talent and they have really, really good coaches. So we'll discuss that. Then a little bit later on, the Deion Sanders deal, the Cam Newton deal, so much more to get to. Your calls, 360-8255. First Bank phone lines are open. First Bank text line, 67129. Town Village Audubon Park, located at 950 Cherry Road, just off Park Avenue, is a great option for the seniors. It's senior living in today's world, offering more options to fit your needs more than ever before. They are dedicated to the long-term satisfaction and the quality of life for their residents. All they ask is that you're 55 years of age or older. So for your future, for a loved one in your family, you're thinking about their golden years, think Town Village Audubon Park. Give them a call. Talk to one of their fine people about the questions that you need answered. They will take care of you. 901-537-0002. That's 901-537-0002. We miss going over there for the remotes. Hopefully down the road we'll continue that. We always enjoy meeting the residents there. They absolutely love it. They can't sing high enough praises about Town Village Audubon Park. Independent living. They offer short-term and respite stay. Monthly options are available. Great event schedule, activities galore, amazing food for their residents. Everything you need to continue to enjoy life to its fullest. Again, 55 or over. Town Village Audubon Park at 950 Cherry Road, just off Park Avenue. Call them at 901-537-0002 or check them out online at townvillageaudubonpark.com. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 98.5.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ. Listen to us daily on AM 560, 98.5 FM, and 96.1 FM.
It may be cold outside, but your deals keep getting hotter and hotter, Jeff. Hey, let's conquer the cold and gear up for winter with the Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah President's Day sales event.
We got you covered, Randy. Let's talk. 2021 Kia Forte, $133 a month lease. 2021 Kia Soul, redesigned inside and out, $149 a month lease. And a 2021 Kia K5, $182 a month lease. All just 36 months, $3149 due at signing.
That's what I'm talking about, Jeff. Plus, every Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah comes with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah, 2680 Mount Moriah, or KiaMountMoriah.com.
All 36-month leases, $3149 due at signing, 0 security deposit, 10,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage, $650 acquisition fee, Forte, ME3 19038, MSRP $20,625, Soul, M7755,638, MSRP $20,660, K5, MG 005560, MSRP $25,725, include all manufacturer rebates and incentives, PF $695, excludes tax filing license, with approved credit, see dealer for complete details, offer valid through 3/1/21, dealer stock only.
Hi, this is Troy Five-Ash, owner of Five-Ash Roof Services. You've heard me talk about how we offer the best products, the best warranties, and the best services for years. Now let's talk about pricing. Pricing should never be the only reason you hire a contractor, but in today's world, pricing is always a consideration. So we suggest you get 2 or 3 estimates for your roof replacement from a reputable, licensed, and insured company, and then give us a call. If we can't beat your best price for a comparable roof system by more than $100, we'll give you $100. It's that simple. We are so sure we can offer you the best price, beating all other qualified companies. We will hand you $100 if we can't, and thank you for the opportunity. So give us a call. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? Make $100? Five-Ash Roof Services, a proud supporter of Tiger Athletics and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. Five-Ash Roof Services, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Action247.com is your Tennessee sportsbook for same-day pay. Action247.com. Local, legal. A sportsbook by Tennesseans, for Tennesseans. Win a little or win a lot. Action247 has same-day pay. The other guys make you wait for your winnings. No more waiting with Action247 same-day pay. Visit us online at Action247.com. Local, legal. Action247. You got action.
Problem gambling? Call 1-800-889-9789.
When you think about Memphis-style hot wings, you better be thinking about Crumpy's Hot Wings, because they're made from the freshest ingredients and always deliver that mouth-watering taste that you expect from your hot wings. Now you can visit their new location at 420 South Germantown Parkway. You can also call them at 901-207-1273 and see for yourself why Crumpy's is simply the best. Ask for the Sports 56 Special, which is 20 pieces of whole wings, large fries, and 4 drinks at just $38 for your family or group gatherings. Crumpy's Hot Wings, simply the best.
The President's Day sales event is going strong at Gossett Kia on Covington Pike. 2021 Kia Forte $133 a month lease. That's less than $5 a day for a new ride. 2021 Kia Soul completely redesigned exterior and interior $149 a month lease. And 2021 Kia K5 just $182 a month lease. All 36 months with $3149 due at signing, and they all come with Kia's 10-year 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So let's conquer the cold and gear up for winter in your new Kia from Gossett Kia 1900 Covington Pike, or online at KiaCovingtonPike.com. Ask for Bobby J. He'll put you in a new Kia today. If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars. All 36-month leases, $3149 due at signing, 0 security deposit, 10,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage, $650 acquisition fee, Forte, ME3 19038, MSRP $20,625, Soul, M7755 638, MSRP $20,660, K5 MG 005560, MSRP $25,725, includes all manufacturer rebates and incentives, PF 695, excludes tax title and license, with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 3/1/21, dealer stock only.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays. This hour of Sports 56 Middays is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers at 4900 Poplar. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Jerry Palm, who joins us every Wednesday, has his latest bracketology up at CBSSports.com. He puts up a new one every Monday and Friday. He has Wichita State in, Eli, as an 11 and has Houston as a 3. So 2 from the American Conference. Tennessee, he has as a 4. So I think they dropped a spot. Is that correct? Thought he had him as a 3 last Friday.
I don't remember for sure. I don't know. I don't remember.
Arkansas, by the way, he has as a 6. Alabama is a 2. Missouri is a 4. Looking at the SEC schools here. I know Florida is in the field. Trying to find Florida. There they are. They're a 7. He has right now as his last 4 in St. Louis, North Carolina, Colorado, and Indiana. And his first 4 out, Seton Hall, Minnesota, Virginia Commonwealth, and Stanford. Boy, that Ohio State and Michigan game, right now his number 1s, Gonzaga, Baylor, of course, Ohio State, and Michigan. Both of them in as number 1 seeds. What a great game yesterday.
Yeah, it was. Both those teams are really, really good. And good to see a competitive game between Michigan and Ohio State, unlike the football games.
Jim Harbaugh was nowhere in sight, was he?
But yeah, that was a good game. And Michigan's really, really good, man. I still think there's a pretty good separation, pretty big separation between Baylor and Gonzaga and the rest of the country. But Michigan is good. I'll say that Michigan is really, really good.
92-87, Michigan won the game over Ohio State. I don't know when they vote for the college awards, if it's post the NCAA tournament or if it's post regular season or conference tournament. But Juwan Howard's got to get a lot of consideration.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he's done an amazing job. I would think he'll be obviously. You look at the 2 guys on with those 2 dominant teams.
Few and Drew.
But yeah, I think Juwan Howard could, and so can make a case for the Ohio State coach
Holtman.
I always want to say Holt Camp for some reason, and I know that's not correct, and it always drives me crazy. I don't even know what I don't even know where that name comes from in my head, but I always want to say Holt Camp. But yeah, I mean. There's a lot of guys throughout that Big Ten that you can look at because that whole conference, we have to play that night in and night out. Although I think now they've had this break here, which kind of hurts them, but depending on how many games they end up playing, if Baylor goes undefeated through the Big 12 conference, I think, Scott, that'd be pretty impressive. That's pretty impressive, because that's a really good conference. If they end up undefeated through that would be impressive.
The Big Ten, I believe, Jerry, has 10 teams in, including the Terps, as Maryland picked a big win yesterday over Rutgers. But if you look at what happened over the weekend, it's a pretty good weekend for the Blue Bloods. We talked about Kentucky steamrolling Tennessee by 15. Duke got a big win over Virginia, 66-65. They're still on the outside looking in, but never count out Krzyzewski. Just like you never count out Calipari, and you never count out Self and these type of coaches. Tom Izzo. Michigan State beat Indiana 78-71. I know Indiana's a blue blood. Michigan State, for basketball, you could debate overall, but it's certainly not with football. But with basketball, Izzo's made them almost a blue blood. They win 78-71. Michigan State, again, on the outside looking in, but they pick up a huge win. North Carolina, part of the last four in that I just talked about with Jerry Palm, they steamroll a depleted Louisville team 99-54.
And that's why, I completely understand North Carolina not moving that game back to Sunday, because they're trying to put together a tournament resume. And
sure.
And, hey, if you got a chance to play them while they're shorthanded and get a win over Louisville, I got no problem with you saying, listen, man, you guys have enough people to play. Let's play this game.
Whatever it takes. And then UCLA out west edged Arizona State. And that would have been a bad loss, 80-79. But again, Blue Bloods, UCLA, UNC, Michigan State for basketball, Duke, Kentucky. They all picked up wins over the weekend, so they got the pulse still going. Elsewhere, Kansas, another blue blood, 67-61 over Texas Tech. Now, they are ranked, and we're ranked in that game against Texas Tech, but still, Kansas, you never count them out. Villanova, 68-60 over UConn. Again, not a blue blood, but in basketball, they're a dominating program under Jay Wright. They picked up a big win there. So on and on and on. West Virginia and Texas was a heck of a game in which West Virginia ended up winning. Bob Huggins, again, another great coach. Great coaches win games, and they win big games, even without the best talent. West Virginia's got talent, but it doesn't compare to some of these others I talked about.
That was coming back from 19 down in that game against Texas, and boy, Texas had some opportunities at the end of the game, and Shaka Smart, rightfully so after the game, there were some couple of missed calls that really hurt Texas in the final second of that game. And but that was a hell of a comeback by West Virginia. Texas should have never put themselves in a situation where they needed to make a last-second shot to try and force overtime. From the 19-point lead, they had the two guys that got in the fight on the bench, and from that point on, it was a complete meltdown by Texas.
Yeah, that's a tough. I think Shaka's done a real good job with that Texas team this year, and they could be dangerous in the tournament. But again, Huggins, he's one of the great coaches. Illinois blew out Minnesota, and Minnesota's now gone down the tubes here the last couple of weeks. But Illinois's got a lot of talent. I'm just worried that Illinois is going to be that one that falters fairly early in the NCAA tournament, and I have them going far. I look at that and go, I know they're really, really good, and that one kid is really special. But
Ayo Dosunmu had his second triple-double of the year, and again, they've got the giant Kofi Coburn inside that is just, the dude's crazy. Every time I watch him play, I'm amazed how athletic he is for his massive size. Those two guys can carry him a long way, but they've had some stumbling. They have games where the rest of the team will go ice cold because they need some of those other guys just to knock down some threes, basically what they need. And if they do that, then they're really good.
Oklahoma over Iowa State, 66-56. Iowa State just really, really bad. But Oklahoma and Lon Kruger, they've been a team that has pulled off a lot of upsets this year, a lot of top 10 wins, and a dangerous team come tournament time.
A couple of texts here on the First Bank text line, 67129 at 67129. One person says, based on what I have seen, LSU is playing better than anybody in the SEC right now. Listen, LSU, again, they are so talented offensively. Defensively is their issue. If they can just play decent defense, because they're going to put up a bunch of points. It's hard for them not to, unless they just can't, have a terrible night shooting the basketball. But I mean, Cam Thomas, the freshman, what did he have the other day? He had another 25-point game. He leads the nation in 25-point games. You've got Javonte Smart. You've got Trendon Watford. You've got Darius Days. I mean, they've got plenty of offense. It's just whether they can get enough stops defensively. But when they get it rolling offensively, yeah, they certainly could beat absolutely anybody in the SEC.
Yeah, I mean, they're playing well. I'd argue Alabama beat them by 18.
Alabama's killed them both times they played them.
Yeah, I mean, the last time, though, February 3rd. So I'm looking at Alabama's games in February. They lost to Mizzou by 3 at Columbia. And then they won everything else. They beat Georgia by 33, for goodness sake. So I don't know if I would agree with LSU's playing the best basketball. I still think it's Alabama.
I mean, I would say Alabama too, yes, but I would, again, LSU is a very dangerous team in the tournament. If I'm one of these other teams, a Tennessee, for instance, especially when I have trouble scoring, I would probably not want to see LSU, in the semis or something like that in the SEC tournament. I would want to avoid a team that could score the way they can as long as possible. Another one here says, this is a North Carolina fan, says, Memphis fans should be happy to see what my Heels did to Louisville. I'm sure some Memphis fans,
some of the old timers
still hate Louisville, are very happy to see that. But there's others probably don't care about Louisville anymore. They've moved on from that. Somebody says, I vote we trade Penny for Juwan Howard. The one thing that is interesting about Juwan Howard, what he's doing at Michigan, he has Phil Martelli on that staff there. Mm-hmm. And
I love Phil.
Gives a lot of credit for Martelli, being able to help him be a head coach for the first time. And it makes you wonder when you see the success they're having, if Penny could have had Larry Brown on the staff, how big of a difference would it have made?
Would have been a big, big difference. Would have been a major difference. Now, people would say, yeah, they still would have got in trouble with the NCAA. They still got in trouble with the NCAA, even without Larry Brown. Larry Brown would have helped Penny Hardaway. There's no question about it. Everybody knew when he got the job that he had to have a veteran coach next to him. And even Penny knew it. That's why he wanted to get Larry Brown. And they gave him the kibosh. They wouldn't let him do it. Tom Bowen would not let it happen. And again, Phil Martelli doesn't have that baggage that Larry Brown has, but he also doesn't have that success that Larry Brown has. But to have Phil Martelli, a veteran who's been there and done that, to lean on has really helped Juwan Howard. No question about it. By the way, does Jerry Stackhouse have any veteran coach on his bench, like a Martelli type?
No.
I think it's extremely important. And I don't think it's like a pride thing because, again, Penny wanted that type of coach. And then ended up getting Sam Mitchell, a little bit different. Not that college experience that you really needed, but a veteran coach that he leaned on, certainly. But I think it's a great point you make, Eli, and I think it's really helped Michigan with Phil Martelli.
Yeah, I mean, and I, Howard has talked about how big of a help he's just been to have a guy. I mean, Martelli was coached how long as a head coach, college basketball?
Forever.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like
fair-haired Phil, they call him.
He's seen everything. Like he's probably seen every situation, everything that can come up, either on the court, off the court, like those things that probably guys don't even think about when they're becoming a head coach for the first time that are going to come up.
Right.
Martelli has seen it. Like it knows how you deal with it and how you move, get past certain things. But that's one of the reasons, like one of the criticisms of Stackhouse is his staff at Vanderbilt, because he went with all people. Like he got Faraji Phillips from the high school level here. He brought the one guy from the Grizzlies with him. I mean, he brought guys that weren't even in college basketball, let alone a veteran from college basketball.
What team Phil Martelli previously coached?
St. Joe's.
St. Joe's, yeah, okay, yeah, that's what I thought.
And he had some guys that went to the NBA. Who was the guard that was there forever in the NBA? Played in Orlando, played a couple of places. Help me out. You know what I'm talking about, was really good for years. You're going to have to look this up, Zach, because my memory's crap.
I was going to say Andre Miller.
No, he played at Utah. Andre Miller played at Utah. It was
he was part of the backcourt that when they were undefeated.
Yes, yeah. I mean, he had some guys that played at St. Joe's that went on and had really good NBA careers.
Was it him and Delonte West?
That's right,
Jameer Nelson.
Jameer Nelson. Yeah, he had Jameer Nelson and Delonte West. Yes,
for that backcourt.
Absolutely.
He was the head coach. I mean, he's coached 7. He's 700 and some games at the college level.
Yeah, been there, done that.
He was from 1995 to 2019 at St. Joseph's. So he's been around the block. He knows a thing
Several
or two.
times.
He's seen a thing or two.
Hey,
what's is that the insurance one?
Yeah, that's the insurance one.
We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
Hey, Fran Dunphy is probably available. I'm just saying. Another guy coached in the Big Five up there.
Well, the
in
greatest
Philadelphia.
coach in the history of college basketball probably is way too, cost way too much money to try and get him in here. I don't know if that's possible on the budget. It's him and John Wooden that you've put on that Mount Rushmore up there. It's hard to pull him in.
You may have to mortgage the farm to get the Dunford. That's all I'm saying. Did you see where Houston is going to play Western Kentucky this Thursday?
I saw that they were talking about maybe adding a game. I did not see who they ended up adding or what they were going to do.
Yeah, according to a report
yesterday. At least it's not Our Lady of the Lakes again.
According to a report I saw yesterday, they're going to get Western Kentucky this Thursday. Western Kentucky is a possible tournament team, depending on how they finish in the – what are they, in the Conference USA? Where's Western Kentucky?
Conference USA.
Yeah.
Kentucky was talking about adding a non-conference game possibly this week, too. Did they end up adding somebody?
I haven't seen that one.
I don't know if they were – I don't know if the SEC might have given them a game, too.
Now, you can only play those games if you didn't play the allotted 7 non-conference games.
Well, as long if you know there's conference games, you're not going to be able to make up. You could replace them with non-conference.
Yeah,
it's just 27 total games.
They are playing Houston this week.
Yeah, so that's going to be so you got 27 games, 20 of them in conference play. If you are Memphis again, and you don't have any adjusted schedule from the American, from Mike Oresco and the powers that be. Do you try to, even though it would be jamming a game in, do you try to jam in a non-conference game? In other words, you got Tulane on Wednesday. You have Sunday Cincinnati. If the American's not going to tell you, hey, listen, we want you to play 2 at Cincinnati Friday and Sunday, which makes all the sense in the world, then maybe Memphis turns around and says, all right, let's see if we can schedule. The problem is the Grizzlies got games Thursday and Friday, right? Against the Clippers.
Yes.
So you can't play a Friday home game.
No.
But that's kind of the thought process is, add a game somewhere, you're probably going to have to squeeze it in. It's going to be unorthodox because at this time of the year, you play 2 college games a week. But why not a third if you can add a decent opponent in non-conference play? Unless the commissioner is going to reschedule some of these games you've missed. They've missed 5 games in league play.
And somebody asked why Memphis didn't reschedule the Ole Miss game, and that was one at the beginning of the year. Ole Miss was on the break, and then they didn't know when that was going to be back, and it was just going to be tough to schedule. Now there was that weekend where Ole Miss had a game postponed, and Memphis was off, and it looked like you could maybe just play that game. But at that time was when we had Cody Toppert on. At that point, Memphis thought they were going to get in all 27 of their games because they were planning on making up the Temple game, which had been missed. They'd already rescheduled the UCF game, so they didn't think they were going to be able to play that game.
Exactly.
Now, in hindsight, yes, but it ended up not mattering anyway because Ole Miss ended up getting an SEC game rescheduled for that week anyway because another SEC game got canceled. So that was when them and LSU ended up playing. But Kentucky was supposed to have Texas A&M tomorrow night, and Texas A&M has been on this long break, and that game's already postponed. That's why Kentucky was talking about possibly adding a non-conference game, but it doesn't look like they have yet, and maybe the SEC is still going to give them another game this week in place of that Texas A&M game.
Yeah, by the way, it feels like A&M hasn't played since December. Zach, you were going to say something?
It has been a long time since A&M has played.
Yeah, I was going to say something because I'm looking at the Grizzlies and the Tigers schedule to see if there's like some type of overlap in their schedules.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's like a couple of days that they could get in, but it just it's very close, too close to call because I'm looking at March 3rd, March 5th, and March 7th. The Tigers got an opening on March 5th. But they're going to be on the road against South Florida, and then they end the season at home against Houston on March 7th.
Yeah, that hurts too.
I don't think they would want to go to South Florida, come back home, play a game, and then go to Houston.
Yeah, that hurts the roadies because of the scheduled Cincinnati game on the road, the scheduled South Florida game on the road. But that's why I say, why not, if you're Penny Hardaway and John Brannon, and if you're Penny Hardaway and Kelvin Sampson, although Sampson won't want to do it, try to play Friday, Sunday. Play at Cincinnati Friday and Sunday, and have Houston come here and play Friday, Sunday against the Cougars. Again, that's assuming next Friday, a week from this Friday, the Grizzlies don't have a home game. And again, I don't know that off the top of my head. But that would make an awful lot of sense.
Grizzlies, let's see, what's this Friday?
This Friday is the 26th.
So the next Friday is
the break.
That's beyond the end of the first half. So yeah, that's a break there.
See that is the
March
perfect.
5th. They play the 4th. They play the 4th against Milwaukee as their final game of this first half.
See, that would be a perfect way to try to make up a couple of these games. Is play 2 at Cincinnati and have Houston come here and play 2 against Memphis. But again, if this is not a mandate from the commissioner, then you're getting 2 coaches, one that probably won't want to do it.
Yeah, if I was Kelvin Sampson, I'd be, hell no. Why, you guys are the ones that canceled the game or had to have the game canceled. Why should we have to play 2 times at your place? I'm sure his thing would be, if you want to come down here for one of them, that's fine, but we're not going to play both of the games at your place. Yeah. New Life Medical Center is at 9160 Highway 64. They are back open now after being closed pretty much all week last week due to the bad weather out there. But New Life Medical Center is open, treating whatever ails you, primary and urgent care. They do have COVID testing available as well for you, including the rapid test where you get results in as little as 15 minutes. That's at New Life Medical Center, open 7:30 to 5 Monday through Friday, 9 to 1 on Saturday. Again, they do have those COVID tests available. Give them a call if you want to go get a COVID test. You do it all from your car. They come out to you when you get there. You pull up, give them a call. They'll come out, all paperwork, test, everything else done right there in your automobile so you never have to get out. The phone number is 213-0100, 213-0100. If you've got questions about any services they offer, insurance questions, anything like that, give them a call and they'll answer it for you at New Life Medical Center.
Alan, if you'd be kind enough to hang on through the break, we'll come to you when we return. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 98.5.
Listen online anywhere, anytime at sports56whbq.com.
The Winter Collection Sale now until March at Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Your one and only Lexus dealership in Memphis. This great Winter Collection Sales event has super special financing offers featuring the flagship LS500 and Lexus named the #1 certified pre-owned program in the industry for the 4th straight year by U.S. News and World Report. The Winter Collection Sale now until March at Lexus of Memphis. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
The fun continues at Family Leisure with a brand new Factory Direct pool and patio sale. The new 2021 inventory is in. You got to get ready now and beat the rush. Become the first one to have your pool installed. They have spas in stock, and those are ready for installation right now, too. Complete your backyard with a new set of patio furniture, all state-of-the-art. Special financing available. Family Leisure, I-40 and Whidden Road, where family and fun come together.
This is a job alert. If you're looking for work, this will interest you. Whether you're looking for full-time, part-time, or even something temporary if you've been recently furloughed, text 107-JOB to 49330. That's 107-JOB to 49330. Office work available now in a clean office environment with all COVID precautions taken. Text 107-JOB to 49330 and someone will be in touch about these job opportunities available now. Text 107-JOB to 49330.
The President's Day event is in full swing at Gossett Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Fiat on the Pike. And we're celebrating with 2020 Dodge Journey SE $19,990 or $249 a month. Or pump up your attitude with the 2021 Jeep Cherokee Latitude $21,740 or $277 a month. Or take your pick 2020 Ram 1500 Quad Cab Tradesman or 2021 Dodge Challenger XST $339 a month. It's your choice, Ram 1500 or Challenger. We Gossett at $339 a month. So drive past the rest and come to the best. Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat 1901 Covington Piper. Shop online GossettMotorCars.net.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Almost financed through Chrysler. All 3,500 cash down. 75 months at 4.19 APR. Journey LT 296,053. MSRP 26,860. Latitude MD 168,760. MSRP 27,805. 1,500 LS 156,730. MSRP 35,185. Challenger MH 581,58. MSRP 31,160. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695. Excludes tax on a license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 3/1/21. Dealer stock only.
First Bank is here to help you. Whether you're a business looking for a loan to expand or refinance an existing one, a homeowner looking for a mortgage or home equity line, a consumer wanting to finance your dream car, or wanting a competitive rate on your CD deposits, let First Bank try to handle your banking needs. Stop into one of First Bank's 3 local branches today. 6482 Poplar Avenue, just east of International Paper, 8398 Highway 64 across from Wolf Chase, and 6280 Highway 64 in Oakland. Or check them out online at firstbankonline.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays. This hour of Sports 56 Middays is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers at 4900 Poplar. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everybody. Coming up in hour number 3, the crazy Deion Sanders story and the Cam Newton story. We'll probably get back into the Grizzlies. We talked a lot about the Grizzlies and Justice Winslow in hour number 1. Alan is dialed in at 360-8255. First Bank phone lines are open. You can hit us up also via the First Bank text line at 67129. Hi, Alan. How are you?
Yeah, I got the perfect coach for the Tigers. Ladies?
Oh, for the women's basketball team?
Yeah. She had 2 Elite Eights, 2 Sweet 16s in the round of 32 before she got fired. Holly Ward. The Tennessee coach.
Yeah, I think Holly Ward?
Holly Warlick.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, she's certainly a capable coach and has a pretty good resume. I don't know if that's the direction Laird's going to want to go in. I think he's going to get a lot of really good coaches with good resumes. But that's certainly, that's certainly one to think about. Nothing wrong with Holly. Thank you,
I
Alan.
was thinking that might be the one to go on.
Appreciate it, my friend. Look, they're going to get – I already know that they're getting hit with a lot of different resumes that are pretty impressive of coaches that feel they can come to Memphis and they can do a really good job recruiting. There's so much talent in this area. And now you're looking at a conference, even though they still have some powers like South Florida, they don't have Connecticut anymore to deal with. So why not win at Memphis?
But I'm not going to – it's women's basketball. We don't talk much about it ever. I don't certainly know a whole lot of all the details. But Holly Warlick took over one of the greatest programs in the nation and ended up getting fired and took it down. So I don't know that would be the type of person that you have a lot of confidence that is going to really be able to bring the Memphis program up when you took over Tennessee as one of the 2 or 3 best programs in America and ended up getting fired from there because you took that program down.
And now they're doing much better under, is it Kelly Harper? I believe Harper's the coach at Tennessee. She's done a really good job. It's hard to go and hire somebody who had just been fired, but it happens all the time. Look at UCF. They hire Gus Malzahn, who was let go at Auburn, but he was let go with a pretty gaudy record, and they understand that being able to bring in that guy who had coached at the SEC was still a win for them, even though he was fired at his last gig. That's why these people are available, because normally they've been fired unless they've retired and are trying to come out of retirement. But, I mean, she's certainly a name that has a pretty good resume, but your point is well taken that she wasn't able to sustain anything close to normalcy at Tennessee, a program that's used to winning and winning big. Now, to be able to fill those shoes are pretty big shoes to fill when Pat Summitt passes away and you take over that program, but you're not able to keep up even close into the vicinity of what they want and you're fired, you're probably not going to be, schools aren't going to be hankering for your services.
I mean, do you have confidence that she could come build a program that has struggled for a long time when you couldn't maintain a program that was literally at the highest level there was?
Yeah, it's a fair question. I mean, it's a fair question. You would doubt that. But what I'm saying is Laird's going to do a national search. He's going to look at all options. I would imagine Michelle Savage, who's going to make her debut tomorrow night as the interim head coach. She's been the associate head coach. She'll get a look. Her resume's, I'll be doing that game tomorrow night, so I was looking at her resume. Pretty impressive. She was 7 years the head coach at Davidson. She was a star player at Northwestern. She has her number retired. She was an assistant at Tulane and coached under the head coach at Tulane now that she'll be facing tomorrow night. So her first game as the interim head coach for Memphis will be going up against the coach that she coached under for all those years at Tulane as an assistant.
By the way, it's kind of on the topic of women's basketball. This is somebody texted in on the First Bank text line, again, 67129, when talking about the Tigers and trying to reschedule games and the Grizzlies schedule and all that.
Right.
They said, could you play a game at El Marone Fieldhouse? I have been told that the Grizzlies would not stand in the way of that happening. If it's a rescheduled game like that wasn't one that was supposed to be on the schedule to begin with, like the first UCF game that was just a bonus game, if they wanted to, they could play that at El Marone, and the Grizzlies would not stand in the way of that.
Yeah, because they're not talking about a fan situation where you're normally going to have 16,000, 17,000, and you can't have that because it doesn't seat that at El Marone Fieldhouse. You're dealing with the restrictions from COVID. So you're just looking for an arena. As far as I know, it's the same distance from baseline to baseline and from sideline to sideline, and the court's the same height.
Rim's still 10 feet tall, like last time I checked.
Yes, so they could play it if they wanted to. I just think right now it's a kind of a feeling out process for the Tigers. Where are they going to be Wednesday night when they take the court after having just a few practices under their belt and over a 2-week hiatus? So maybe you don't want to schedule something right away because you want to see where your team is. And maybe they'll be without all their players. We don't know that. We haven't gotten that information. But if they are full strength, look good, play well, then maybe it's something they could squeeze in for next week and have a 3-game week before they get ready for the conference tournament. I still believe the right move would be to schedule the 2 in Cincinnati and have Houston come here for 2 next weekend before you get ready for the conference tournament in Fort Worth. But what do I know? Hour 3 coming up. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 98.5.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
2021 is finally here. Might I suggest we start the wonderful new year with a makeover for your beautiful house. I'm Brian Elder. I'm a roofer. I fix roofs. Don't let them tell you that it has to be replaced when all it may need is some love. 867-0303. Let me love on your roof. I've made quite the reputation over the last decade as the guy to call after the insurance company denies the claim. Overturning a claim that has gone bad is an art form where you argue county code, manufacturer specs, and details of your policy that they have to abide by. So let me see it first. If I say it's a claim, it's a claim. 867-0303. Money is free at Brian Elder Roofing with 0% financing for half a decade. I'll measure your roof from outer space and get you a quote right over the phone. 867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
The President's Day event is in full swing at Gossett Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Fiat on the Pike. And we're celebrating with 2020 Dodge Journey SE $19,990 or $249 a month. Or pump up your attitude with the 2021 Jeep Cherokee Latitude $21,740 or $277 a month. Or take your pick 2020 Ram 1500 Quad Cab Tradesman or 2021 Dodge Challenger XST $339 a month. It's your choice, Ram 1500 or Challenger. We Gossett at $339 a month. So drive past the rest and come to the best. Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat 1901 Covington Pike or shop online GossettMotorCars.net.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Almost financed through Chrysler, all 3,500 cash down, 75 months at 4.19 APR. Journey LT 296,053, MSRP 26,860. Latitude MD 168,760, MSRP 27,805. 1500 LS 156,730, MSRP 35,185. Challenger MH 581,58, MSRP 31,160. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695. Excludes tax on a license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 3/1/21. Dealer stock only.
Head on over to Frontier Western Store for their famous February sale. This is Frontier's biggest sale of the year, and it's time to save big on boots and apparel. All men's jeans are now on sale. Wrangler Carhartt pants, $5 off. Area denim is also $5 off. There are huge savings on Carhartt shirts as well. Select clearance shirts and outerwear up to 50% off. Area shirts and jackets discounted as well. Hurry in for the best selection. All novelty shirts, including Simply Southern, Girly Girl, and Puppy Love, are buy one, get one half price. Men's t-shirts by Live Oak and A-Bow also included in this sale. Frontier has markdowns in the boot room as well. Hundreds of boots by Double H, Rocky, Durango, and Ariat now priced to move to make room for new spring arrivals. Stop by Frontier today and grab your next pair of dress or work boots. It's the famous February sale at Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, and on the web at frontierwesternstore.com. Family owned and operated since 1967.
For over 8 decades, America's farmers have counted on the Little Red Tractor from Case IH, the Farm All, to help them make short work of their demanding chores. Well, Mid-South Ag can show you they aren't just for farms anymore. With horsepower ranging from 30 to 105, plus an army of attachments, they can tackle every chore on your to-do list, from hauling and mowing to loading and towing and then some. Stop by Mid-South Ag Equipment or call 662-890-3141 to find a Case IH Farm All that's right for you. Listen Sundays at 11 a.m. to join Idlewild Presbyterian Church for worship. Idlewild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, W253DF Memphis, and WIVG Tunica Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, back to Sports 56 Middays. This hour is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware at Quincy White Station. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everybody. 12:03 is the time. Final hour for us today here on this Monday, February 22nd, 2021 edition of Sports 56 Middays. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy. Zach Boyd in today for Gabe Kuhn. We're in the Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Third hour of the program brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware at 5143 Quince Road, which is right next door to Billy Hardwick's All-Star Lanes. Locally owned and operated by Jarrett and Philip Carter, the Carter brothers. They carry local products. They have a full-time locksmith on duty. Your neighborhood Ace in East Memphis for convenience, service, knowledge, and price. Online at acehardware.com. You can give them a call at 901-683-8688. Open Monday through Saturday, 8 to 7, Sunday, 10 to 4. It's East Memphis Ace Hardware. Vince Ford, who's a cool dude, he's the team facilities manager for the Grizzlies. He's tweeted out that tonight it'll be a battle of the throwback unis. For those who really care about what the Grizzlies are wearing, they'll be wearing the throwbacks. Dallas apparently will be wearing the throwbacks as well for tonight's game between the Grizzlies and the Mavericks. Grizzlies will try to get back up to or over 500. They're 13-13. Also, they announced that Sean McDermott has been sent to the Gubble, where he will play with the Memphis Hustle in Orlando. All right, so we had a couple of very unusual stories over the weekend. One involving prime time. Coach Prime, that's Deion Sanders, has taken over the Jackson State football program. And, of course, this year with the wackiness of football, many of the FCS schools have opted to play a spring schedule as opposed to having played in the fall. Some have opted out completely. The Ivy League is not going to play at all. Some are playing partial schedules. But Jackson State played their first game over the weekend, and it was an easy win against an overmatched team. The final was 53
to nothing.
53-0 over Edward Waters. What can you tell us about Edward Waters?
Absolutely nothing.
He's a terrific guy, I think.
I believe you need to boil him. That's what I can tell you.
Anyway, they win the game 53-0. First game, first victory. The team in the locker room gives Coach Prime the game ball. Everything's cool. And then the weird presser afterwards where Coach Prime basically said, it should be all joy, but it's some bad stuff because he was robbed. Not at gunpoint, not him. His stuff had been stolen from his locker is what was first reported, and that included his wallet, his phone, valuables, things of that nature. He said, I'm lucky I'm wearing my chains because the chains would have been in there. Then Jackson State tweets out that really it was just miscommunication. It wasn't stolen. He has his stuff back. And then Prime comes back, Coach Prime, and says, no. The real story is my assistant, a female, by the way, comes in there, sees the guy in the act trying to steal the stuff right out of his his bag in his office, and they catch the guy and they get the stuff back. So long story short, somebody did try to rob him. They were able to recover all the stuff, and the communication department at Jackson State continues to be awful.
Yeah, I don't even. I am so confused by what actually happened in the story. I don't know. I don't know what happened. I really. I mean, it's very odd to have the head coach of your football team, when he says whoever's saying that it wasn't stolen is lying, he's talking about the communications staff from his school.
Exactly.
Like they're the ones that said it. So you're basically saying they lied. I am so confused by what actually happened, if it was stolen, if it wasn't stolen, if it was stolen, where they actually found it, because they said it was like stashed somewhere else in the state. I don't know. I don't know what to believe in this whole story.
Did they lie, or was it just miscommunication by a communication department? You had one job. And then have they arrested the person? Did the person get away when the female came upon that said person stealing the stuff from his office?
That was the way I understood it, was they got away, but yet they found this stuff stashed somewhere else. I don't know.
Oh, really?
I don't know. I trying to make sense of it is probably not even worth it. Apparently, Dion got his stuff back, and we're all good.
But what an awful way to start your collegiate coaching career at Jackson State, to have that happen. It's a downer. It puts a downer on everything that what happened on the field, because your personal space, you feel, was invaded. I mean, I know it was goods. It was not him. He wasn't attacked. He wasn't beaten up and as valuable stolen, but still the same. It's a big old Debbie Downer on a day when it should be all joy that Deion freaking Sanders is coaching your team. And you just riled at somebody that we don't know who Edward Waters is, but still they're playing football, and prime time is your coach.
By the way, Buck O'Neill, the former Negro League baseball player, great, Edwards College alum, or Edwards Waters, or whatever it is, Edward Waters.
Edward Waters. Where is Edward Waters?
It's in Jacksonville, Florida.
NAIA?
I don't know that one.
I thought you were going to tell me Edward Waters was the guy who stole the stuff from Deion Sanders.
I don't know if they are. I'm not sure. Yes, NAIA Division I.
So there you go. That was the strange Deion Sanders story from opening day for Jackson State, and I'm sure we're not going to hear the end of it yet, because there's still things that need to be clarified.
If all of this is correct, Deion Sanders now has coached in one game at Jackson State and been the victim of 2 robberies.
2?
Because he had his boombox stolen he had his stuff taken out of his car when he first
Oh, that's right.
So he's right now it's 2-1 robberies versus games.
Moral of the story: don't live anywhere, or don't go anywhere near that stadium in Jackson. What is it? What stadium? What's the name of that stadium? Is it Memorial? Man, there's a lot of history at that stadium. I've never been to that stadium in Jackson, but it's home to a lot of Ole Miss games in the past, and big time SEC games.
Mississippi Veterans Memorial Stadium.
I think that every stadium back in the day was called Veterans Memorial, either stadium or Coliseum. Yes. So anyway, that's just a shame. That puts a damper on everything for Coach Pine.
The sports information staff, which I'm sure were like, oh boy, this is just going to be like their job got a lot harder when you bring in Deion Sanders as your head coach, and there's now 1,000,000% more interest in everything and it's like, okay, first game, let's just try and get through this and make sure everything's working smoothly, because they've never had to deal with all these media. I mean, you got national media there to cover your game. That's a springtime football game that normally literally nobody would pay any attention to. You're playing Edward Waters, literally nothing. And then this happens. And then not only does this happen? Then you put out a statement that you apparently think is correct, and Deion's saying you're lying about the story. They're like, what in the world? Of all the things that could happen to us, we just wanted to get through the first game without a problem, and here we sit being called a liar by Deion Sanders for the statement we put out about the robbery that may or may not have happened.
And then the person who is thinking, yeah, let me rob Deion Sanders because here's a coach that has a lot of money and he wears a lot of jewelry and he probably has that in his office. So let me do that. Let me scheme this thing out and go ahead and try to steal from primetime.
I mean, do we not have locks on doors anymore? Like, I mean, how did this person just get in there in the first place? So I don't understand.
That's why I said there's a bunch of questions that still need to be answered. All right, so we had that crazy story, and then this was just this really, really upset me. And this is the whole Cam Newton thing. So Cam Newton, who has put together a pretty damn good career, he is helping coach a 7-on-7, taking his time out of his schedule to help out youth football. He's done this a lot. He is much maligned at times, and he does an awful lot for communities. So anyway, he does this 7-on-7 thing, and this kid who's participating is taking a video of him, and he's ridiculing Cam Newton. He's saying you're going to be poor and this. He's just going off on this guy, on Cam Newton. You talk about disrespect from the youth of today. I don't even understand how this is happening. And he's going back and forth with the kid. And do you want to add anything before I read the kid apologized today? I can guarantee you that he was forced to do this. But anyway, the kid apologized. Anybody want to jump in on the original video, the young kid trying to put down Cam Newton to get a laugh from his buddies who are on the sideline? Is this kids being kids, or is this today's youth? Or is this just complete disrespect?
No, this is straight disrespect.
It's today's kids because they're trying to find the next viral video. So you're let's watch this. I'm gonna mess with Cam here and all this stuff. Get it on video, and I'm gonna be this. Everybody's gonna be laughing at me because look at this, what I'm doing to Cam Newton, and it backfired on him because he ends up looking like the idiot. I don't think he probably realized he was going to be getting called out from other professional athletes from everywhere. And all of a sudden, he's the one that looks like the idiot here. First of all, you're calling a guy, you're trying to tell a guy he's going to be poor, which seems like a weird insult to a guy who's made millions. Who's made over $120 million just in salary alone. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I just come up with something better than you're going to be poor. That's just a dumb thing to say to a guy who's probably with endorsements made over $200 million in his career. He's also a Heisman Trophy winner, national championship winner, MVP in the NFL, and played in a Super Bowl. So, maybe find a better target, other than the guy who you probably want to be. You literally want to be what Cam Newton, you want to achieve in your football career what Cam Newton has achieved. You're hoping, dreaming, praying that you could be Cam Newton, and your thing is, watch this, I'm going to tell him he's going to be poor.
It's almost like the kid had no idea who Cam Newton was. I mean, do a little research before he's trying to dog a guy who's had the career that Cam Newton has had. The other thing is, Zach, that could you imagine if Cam Newton said something that was bad and he was egged on by this kid? He had the restraint. I give him all the credit in the world for the way he reacted to it, which was very professional. How about if he said, your mother is poor or something? All we'd be talking about is Cam Newton as opposed to putting this little snot-nosed kid in his place.
But I love the fact that he's like, where's your dad? I'm not going to waste my time talking to you, kid. Where's your dad? I'll have a man-to-man conversation with your dad. I'm not going to have a conversation with you being an idiot.
And my thing is because I've seen a few of the comments on Twitter and whatnot. They're saying Cam should not sit here and be arguing with a kid back and forth like this. I'm like, no, argue. I'm gonna argue with you because you was dumb enough to come step in my lane telling me that I'm trash. Yes, I am a free agent, but which means that some other team might want me. Like, no.
Who cares if nobody wants him? I mean, it's so disrespectful. And here's the thing:
I live my life,
and Zach is respecting the kid by answering or at least coming back and not being as abrasive as he could have been. He was being actually pretty civil.
He said, "I'm rich."
Yeah,
yes, he's like, "I'm rich."
He was stating a fact. I'm rich.
Okay, so anyway, the kids today, but the kid responds. Again, I don't know if Mom wrote this, if Annie wrote this. I don't know where it came from. Here it is. First and foremost, what kid says? First and foremost, I want to express my deepest apologies to Cam Newton, my entire organization, and my coaches for my actions at the 7v7 tournament this past weekend. My entire organization. I did not intend for it to get as far as it did. First, I would like to start off by saying my parents never taught me to be disrespectful to people. As a football player, he's a little snot-nosed football player. As a football player, on equal terms with Cam. As a football player, I let my competitive side get the best of me, and it was a huge miscommunication. No, it wasn't. It was in the midst of the moment, and I realize now how a lot of you took it as disrespect, because it was. I never meant to humiliate and let anyone down. I am very appreciative for 7v7 to even allow me to be a part of the community and allow me to be a part of the team I am currently on. I realize this can dictate my future as a young man, having very big dreams, goals, but I will not allow this to stop me from getting where I need to be. So again, I apologize and hope I can be forgiven. Thoughts?
I mean, if he's like we talked about earlier this morning, I'm willing to give the kid some leeway. If he means it, he's gonna come out and be better by it. Yeah, I'm willing to give him the kid some leeway. But this is a teaching moment, man.
Hopefully the kid learns. Hopefully the kid learns. It's just dumb, but not everything. You don't always have to be trying to make the next viral video to get yourself followers. And that's why, in a lot of those situations, I mean, you can't have your phone around. No phones are allowed. Don't let anybody have a phone around out there, because it leads to people trying to be the funny guy or whatever. If the kid does truly, first of all, if the kid actually wrote it, or at least had something to do with it, means it, learns from it. Hopefully, he becomes better, and he does learn from the situation. That's all you can hope.
Yeah, look, I hope he learns from the situation. It's not like this kid, put him in jail and throw away the keys for making fun of Cam Newton. No, of course not. This kid hopefully will learn and be a better person for it. But, again, I still think, even though he had to, either he did it, he took it upon himself to do this, which I'll give him all the credit in the world if he did, or was told by his parents to do it. I guarantee you there's still his buddies that are saying, "You're famous, man. Look at this. This is all over the place. It's on ESPN. They're probably talking about it on every sports talk show. We're talking about it."
But overall, that's still not a good look, because the kid got to go to college in order to go play in the NFL. And so,
yeah, but this isn't going to prevent him from going to college. College isn't going to say you're not getting paid.
No, it's
there
not.
Are some kids that would rather will take being famous, even if it's because they're an idiot. There's some kids who this kid very well may think this will end up working out. I am everywhere. They're talking about this. Maybe he is. I don't know. I'm hoping he's not. Maybe he realizes, okay, I look like an idiot. Everybody's making fun of me and telling me how disrespectful it is and everything else. I made a mistake here, and I truly am sorry for it.
Have you seen TikTok? I mean, I think the whole thing is to look like an idiot and get your 15 minutes of fame. I don't think that
most of TikTok is very informative, Pete.
Is it?
Yeah.
Did you call me Pete?
It's entertainment.
I was getting ready to call you Peter, but
and people that do it for entertainment, it isn't about being disrespectful to other people.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding about that. I'm just saying, but there are people that are searching, like Eli said, for the next viral video to become famous for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
They're looking for their 15 minutes of fame, and they're doing it at the expense of other people. That's why it's so disrespectful.
Yeah. He was definitely searching for some fame, because he kept using the same talking points over and over again. But like I said, teaching moment, learn from it, be a better person. Let's move on.
Well said. One of the things I love about betting on basketball, other than winning, which I haven't done in a while, is I'm always finding new player props or game props that I like. And what's cool about FanDuel Sportsbook is you can combine these props with other bets from the same game to score an even bigger payout. It's called a same-game parlay bet, and you can only find them on FanDuel. I love FanDuel because it's easy to get your money. It's easy to use. They have all different types of bets, including the same-game parlays, which with the same-game parlay, you could take the money line, the over-unders, the point spreads, how many points, rebounds, assists a player gets, and combine all those. Just mix and match. And right now, new and existing users can get up to $25 back each day if you parlay, or if your parlay falls one leg short with the same-game parlay insurance. You heard that right. Every single day. You're not paying for anything. All you have to do is opt in for the same-game parlay insurance. That's why I bet on FanDuel. It's easy to use, as I said, fast withdrawals, odds boosts, and specials. So just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app today and try same-game parlay. Use promo code GASMAN at sign-up. That's promo code GASMAN. Must be 21 or older, present in Tennessee. Refund issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 7 days. Max refund is $25. Terms apply. See sportsbook.fanduel.com for details. For problem gambling support, call 1-800-889-9789. We have a question from one of our listeners about Tony Finau, who came up a bit short again in the Genesis event at Nissan or at LA Country Club. Riviera Country Club. And the question is an interesting one. We'll get to that. You got any more text? 67129, as we still have 30-plus minutes to go on the program. If you want to call in, 360-8255. First Bank phone lines are open as well. Got some baseball news to get to and some college baseball as well, including big news for Ole Miss. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, and 98.5.
Find it, man. Find it.
Basketball has met its match. It's Sports 56 Mornings with your assist kings, Pete and Sane. Bringing you the best alley-oops of informative sports talk. Great guests, calls and texts, prize giveaways, and more.
Hey, everybody. The new 2021 Silverados are officially here. I'm out here at Olive Branch at All-Star Chevrolet looking at all these hot new trucks. Want a new Silverado? All-Star has all the Silverados. New 2020s, new 2021s. 0 for 72 months available right now. And you gotta know, if it's a new Chevy you want, Olive Branch is where you want to be. New 2021 Equinoxes, Blazers, and the third row Traverses. All right, you want to talk about some deals? Go to allstarautogroup.com and look at all the slightly driven demos. Previous loaners. All-Star has dozens of certified pre-owned Chevys, Tahoes, Silverados, Impalas, and everybody at All-Star Chevrolet has one job: to make sure you get the best deal, have more fun, and in record time. Remember, it's not Mount Moriah, not the Pike, not South Haven or Collierville. It's got to be Olive Branch, people. So find new roads to Kraft Goodman Road in Olive Branch or go online at allstarautogroup.com.
Speaking of golf, this is Marty Fulton. You probably remember me from Holiday Golf, Whispering Woods, or Plantation. I'm a PGA Life member, and over the years, I found whenever I advised Sheldon Rosengarten with Mark Spinsdorf about his golf game, whether it was about equipment or his swing, invariably he still couldn't hit the ball out of a paper bag, mainly because he spent so much time selling homes. That's why people often say, when you want the job done, you call Sheldon.
Thanks, Marty. That's right. I spend far too much time on my house game than on my golf game. I tell people that they need to talk to 2 to 3 real estate brokers and make sure that I am one of them. They need to find out the difference in what others do and my highly successful strategic marketing program with the Shellbucks option. If you or someone you know is thinking of selling their home, have them contact me, Shell Dunn Rosengarten, at 682-1868 or memphisrelocate.com. That's 682-1868 or memphisrelocate.com. Do it now.
The soothing scent of Vicks Vapor Rub. It's only one of the most iconic smells ever. That cooling, comforting scent generations of families have come to trust to help them feel better. And now you trust to soothe your family. Pick up some Vicks Vapor Rub in the little blue jar and wrap yourself with the calm only Vicks Vapor Rub can bring. Vicks Vapor Rub, always there for you.
The President's Day sales event is going strong at Gossett Kia on Covington Pike. 2021 Kia Forte $133 a month lease. That's less than $5 a day for a new ride. 2021 Kia Soul, completely redesigned exterior and interior, $149 a month lease. And 2021 Kia K5, just $182 a month lease. All 36 months with $3149 due at signing, and they all come with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So let's conquer the cold and gear up for winter in your new Kia from Gossett Kia 1900 Covington Pike, or online at KiaCovingtonPike.com. Ask for Bobby J. He'll put you in a new Kia today.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 36-month leases, $3149 due at signing, 0 security deposit, 10,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage, $650 acquisition fee, Forte, ME3 19038, MSRP $20,625, Soul, M7755 $638, MSRP $20,660, K5 MG 005560, MSRP $25,725, includes all manufacturer rebates and incentives, PF $695, excludes tax title and license, with approved credit, see dealer for complete details, offer valid through 3/1/21, dealer stock only.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays. This hour is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware at Quince and White Station. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
I was a highwayman along the coach road.
I wonder if it's ever happened where the number 1 and number 2 teams in the polls stayed that way the entire season. Because Gonzaga and Baylor have been 1 and 2 since the start of the year. Gonzaga, in the latest poll, which came out today, garnered 60 of the 64 first-place votes. Baylor got the other 4. Again, they've been in that same position for the entire season. Very rare, if it's ever been done.
We don't see teams going undefeated, so I would assume it, let alone 2 of them, so I would imagine it probably hasn't ever happened.
But even a Gonzaga loss, let's say Baylor wasn't there, they weren't in the picture, a Gonzaga loss wouldn't drop them below Michigan or Ohio State. They would still be number 1, even if they weren't undefeated. But Gonzaga, Baylor, Michigan, Ohio State, Illinois round out your top 5. So after Gonzaga and Baylor, you got 3 from the Big Ten. Then Alabama is 6. Oklahoma, Villanova, Iowa, and West Virginia round out your top 10. Houston is 12. Arkansas is number 20. Loyola of Chicago, by the way, number 21. Missouri is 24, and Tennessee down to 25 after getting thumped by Kentucky. So there's your latest college basketball, men's college basketball poll. Ray, via Twitter, asks us a question. He said, is Tony Finau the new ATM? Is he the new Matt Kuchar of the PGA Tour?
Well, I can speak from experience. If you bet him to finish in the top 10 every week, he is like an ATM. It's amazing. It really, it's hard to believe that anybody could put together the amount of top 5 finishes that he has without scratching out a win in that stretch. I mean, yesterday. Now, granted, he should have lost in regulation because Homa had the 3-foot putt to win the tournament. Mm-hmm. And Tony Finau put together a great final round. Like he shoots 7 under to get even in, put himself in position. So it's not like he collapsed in that. Like he gets him there. But in that first playoff hole, he's got to win the tournament right there. Like you have to win the tournament on the first hole. When Homa's ball ended up where it did off the tee box, if you're Finau, you have to win the tournament on that hole.
So we are watching, this is my son and myself, we're watching the playoff. And Homa puts that ball where I thought he was going to have to hit it left-handed. I really misinterpreted everything. I didn't think he had a shot. So I looked on the live scoring on FanDuel, not live scoring, but the live gambling. Homa went up to, I think it was 1,050, something like that.
Oh, where that ball was. Because the thing is, where Finau was, pretty good odds he's going to make birdie. Like you should be getting, that's a ball that professional golfers of that level, they get that thing up and down most of the time.
Right, he was high, he was hole high, but off the green.
And Homa,
par 4.
Now he had a great shot, but he's probably not making birdie. Like if you're Finau there, you just think, I get up and down, this is over. Even if he hits an amazing shot, he's probably not making birdie. But Finau didn't hit a bad chip, but his putt was like he looked scared on the putt, basically. It's amazing. It's got to be in his head. Like I don't care who you are, what you're. it has to be in his head when you keep getting that close and you keep putting yourself in, getting top fives, but can never figure out a way to win one of them.
I said to Greg, I said, I don't think he has those genes. I don't think he's a closer. I think that's the problem with Finau. He's a talented golfer, as talented as a lot of the golfers out there on the tour, and he just can't finish. I don't think he has the ability to close. I don't know what it is, fortitude.
But he shot 7 under yesterday. He shouldn't even have been a part of it. He shot 7 under yesterday.
Yeah, but
he played an unbelievable
But where
round of
was he
golf.
going into the round? Where was he? He was behind. He was well behind. He's fine when he's chasing, but when he's being chased and he's in the lead, I don't know if he has those genes to be able to finish and put it away, to step on a jugular and go, boom, that's it. It's over. I don't know if he has it. I just don't know if he has it. But anyway, going back to that shot by Homa, it was like 1,050. I said he's dead. I go, he can't hit it. He's going to have to hit it with his left. Nope. He hit it, and he hit a great shot. Missed the putt, he hit a great shot, and then ends up winning the tournament. So, we talked about this in hour number 1. My gambling antics are just that. They're antics. They're horrible decisions that I made. But Homa, he got a little lucky. Then again, like you said, he should have closed it out on 18, but he gets the win. That's basically in his backyard.
Oh, it's a great story. I mean, it's amazing.
He's from Burbank, California.
He's a guy that used to go there as a kid. As he said, he always tried to get Tiger Woods to high-five him, and he never could get him. He could never get it. And now you win this, and Tiger Woods is presenting the trophy to you. I mean, it's his favorite golf course on tour. Like it's an unbelievable story. I can't imagine for a guy like that who, as he said, Tiger is the main reason I'm in golf. Mm-hmm. And now this guy, your hero, is presenting you the trophy at your home, basically your hometown golf course for winning for winning on tour. Like I can't even imagine how surreal that had to be for him.
No,
especially when you miss a little over 3-foot putt that would have won the tournament, and you think you've just, with all of those things involved, you think you just gave it away, and then you still find a way to come back and win it in the playoff. Man, that's got to be the swing of emotions. It's crazy.
Well, look, that is a great story, but there's also these sad stories while that greatness is going on for Max Homa to be able to win and, like you said, get presented the trophy by Tiger. There's somebody like Sam Burns who led from the start on Thursday. The guy led the whole tournament. He was in position to win. Nick Faldo, according to what I read on Twitter, picked him before the start of the tournament. He was 100-1 odds.
He picked him the week prior.
They
always do a thing on the broadcast, their Sunday showcase thing or whatever, and they all pick like a player that they feature. And Sam Burns was his guy the week before.
So he picks the guy at 100-1 odds. He leads the whole darn tournament, and you got to feel bad for him, who gave up the lead late on Sunday and ends up not cashing in with a victory. Has he won yet on the tour? Burns,
no. He has not.
See, that's, again, for every great story like Homa, you get the story like Sam Burns not being able to complete the deal, and the story of Tony Finau not being able to complete the deal. But to answer Ray's question, I think Finau is the new ATM.
Yeah. I mean, he's making a hell of a living. he's making a ton of money. I mean, every tournament he finishes top 5. It seems like it's. Again, if Tony Finau is playing, I bet him to finish in the top 10. And more times than not, I'm winning money off of him because he's almost always in the top 10.
If you like variety, we had a plethora of sports over the weekend. It was pretty cool, different things that were going on. NASCAR, after the Daytona 500 last weekend, they ran the Daytona road course, and Christopher Bell got the win. So that's 2 straight weeks that a first-timer got a W. With Michael McDowell, of course, the first-timer comes at the Daytona 500. Christopher Bell wins over the weekend with Joey Logano second. Denny Hamlin third. McDowell finished 8th. Also over the weekend, they had the Lake Tahoe Outdoor NHL game, which ended up getting delayed 8 hours because the sun came out and started to melt the ice, for goodness sakes. But did you watch that at all, or did you see any of the pictures?
No, I did not.
Oh, if you like beauty, man, the photos, the videos, the venue of Lake Tahoe in the background with the ice hockey rink, It's beautiful.
Wait, that was the picture where the ice hockey rink was right next to the lake with the
Yes.
mountains? Oh, okay. Yeah. I saw
It looked fake, right?
It looked like definitely somebody photoshopped.
Yeah, it was absolutely beautiful. But unfortunately for the two teams, which was Colorado and Vegas, they started the game. They had to wait around, like I said, 8-hour delay. So they didn't continue until about 9 o'clock Pacific time, and Colorado ends up winning that game 3-2.
So this year, since the 2021, the calendar changed. The Tournament of Champions Finau finished 31st. But since then, he's gone 4th, 2nd, went overseas to play in Saudi Arabia or whatever, finished 2nd there, and then 2nd yesterday. So 4th and 3 seconds his last 4 golf tournaments he's played.
Could become the eternal bridesmaid, Tony Finau.
But he made $1 million yesterday. I don't know what he got for the 2nd place finish in Saudi Arabia. He's doing all right.
He's not hurting.
He's making some money. He's making this season, which goes back to the fall. He's played in 9 events. He's made $2.6 million. 9 events, 5 top 10s.
College baseball got underway over the weekend. A lot of teams, unfortunately, couldn't play because of the weather around the country. But down in Texas, they had a big event that continues today. And Ole Miss, according to was it College Baseball America that they're the new number 1 team in the nation?
Baseball America.
Yeah, Baseball America. And they had 2 big wins over the weekend, knocking off TCU on Saturday 7-3. And then they held off Texas Tech yesterday 5-4. They're going to play Texas today. We'll have that game for you on 96.1 at 2 o'clock. But they're going for the Texas 3-step, trying to sweep. But Ole Miss, at least the one publication, now the number 1 team in college baseball. Mississippi State, by the way, also playing in that event. They beat Texas 8-3 on Saturday. Sunday, they lost to TCU 3-2. So really a great way to start the season if you're the Ole Miss Rebels.
Oh, I mean, that's 18 straight wins now, going back to the 16-game winning streak they ended last year with when they got cut off. They are loaded, and I would think other publications would put them at number 1 as well. I mean, if you were already a top 5 team and you beat 2 top 10 teams to start your year, and they get another chance today against Texas. That would be one hell of a start if they go down there and go undefeated in those 3 games.
And they got a chance. Like I said, Mississippi State beat Texas on Saturday 8-3. Doesn't guarantee that Ole Miss will complete the deal today, but a great opportunity. I wanted to bring up what Richard Cross had to say, and I think some people know Richard Cross and his involvement with Ole Miss. Richard is host of Sports Talk Mississippi on Super Talk Mississippi Radio and the SEC Network. You've seen him do games on TV, and of course he's with Stats on the pregame, halftime, postgame of the Ole Miss football games. But he does a lot of the baseball and other sports with Ole Miss. So yesterday he said 16,908 people watched 3 college baseball games in Arlington, Texas. This was Sunday posted. He said today 17,508 came through the gates at Globe Life Field, home of the Texas Rangers. Everybody wore masks. It's time to lift the attendance restrictions in Mississippi. He tweeted that out to Governor Tate Reeves. He said, "We have the best college baseball fans collectively on the planet. They deserve to see these incredible teams in person. We can be responsible, but the economic decline based on capacity restrictions in Oxford, Starkville, and Hattiesburg has to stop. It's time." What are the restrictions for baseball at this point right now? Do you have any idea?
I don't know. I'm not sure what the percentage is and what they're doing for sure as far as that is concerned.
What do you think about his shout out towards the governor?
Well, I mean, I understand the point. I mean, first of all, these are outdoor events. You've got, again, Ole Miss now number 1, or very least top 2, 3, 4, 5 team. Mississippi State, another top 10 team. Those are two schools that really rely on baseball to be a money maker for them. I could see where some people think with where we are now with the vaccines and everything else, outdoor events, we could maybe loosen up those restrictions a little bit and let more people come watch these teams.
From the major leagues, spring training continues, and we have our first opt-out for 2021. Ian Desmond, who opted out for 2020, is also opting out for 2021. A couple of other notes. Cam Newton, who we just talked about with the viral video, says there aren't 32 quarterbacks better than me.
By the way, they're at 25% is what they're doing at Ole Miss.
25? It's not bad, but it's certainly not what they got down in Texas. Do you concur with Cam Newton that there aren't 32 quarterbacks better than me?
No.
Depends what room he's in that he's talking about that. At that 7-on-7 camp, he probably was not 32 quarterbacks better than him. If he's talking about in football today, I would disagree.
Do you think anybody goes after him?
As
a backup?
Yeah, he'll get an opportunity, yeah. I don't
but not as a starter.
No. I think
I don't think he's a starter at this point in his career. He just unless there
doesn't have the arm strength.
I know he talked about the COVID situation and all that ruined his season, but I mean he doesn't look like a starting quarterback.
He needs to go to a team that has weapons. Ever since even in his Carolina days, I guess you could say part of his Carolina days. And even last season, no weapons for him to throw to. They had a pretty good running game, I guess. I guess New England got an okay running game, but there's no weapons. There's nobody to throw it to. So if he goes to a team with a backup that has weapons of, pretty good caliber of weapons on receivers, then yeah, maybe in a backup role, if that quarterback gets hurt, he can step in and show a little glimpse of promise.
I think he can be a good backup quarterback who you can use in packages down at the goal line, like what the Colts used Jacoby Brissett for this past year. He could still run. He's still a giant human being at the quarterback position and could still be effective doing some things. I just don't think he is your every down quarterback with the way he's throwing the football right now, because it looks painful when he tries to throw it deep.
You're going to be poor, man. You're going to be poor. Once you lose your job, you're going to be poor.
You're still a free agent.
You're going to be poor.
He's made like $200 million. If Cam Newton's ever poor, that's one of the greatest predictions of all time by that kid. Because I don't know how he could ever be poor at this point. That'd be very difficult for him to be poor.
Look at me, guys. Look at how I'm dissing Cam Newton, man. What a terrible career and life he's had. Look at me, man. Look how good I am.
You need a tough, reliable tractor to tackle those tough chores, and the folks at Mid-South Ag have exactly what you're looking for. The Case IH Farm All Series tractors at Mid-South Ag Equipment with versatile performers, perfect for loading, baling, tilling, mowing, whatever it is that you need to do. They've got the equipment for you at Mid-South Ag Equipment. They are located just south of Collierville on Goodman Road. Very easy to get to off of I-269. You take I-269 to the Goodman Road exit, go west. They're just a half-mile west of that exit. You could see them from I-269 with all that equipment, the huge dealership there. Great selection from new to pre-owned equipment there. They service your current equipment. They do it all for you because they know what they're doing. They know the business better than anybody. They've been doing it for a long time at Mid-South Ag Equipment. Again, I-269 to Goodman Road, head west a half mile, and you are there. You can also find them online at midsouthag.com. They are Mid-South Ag Equipment.
Grizzlies and Mavs tonight. More on that when we return for our final segment. This is Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 98.5 FM.
You have opinions?
I think they got a lot of athletic ability.
We want to hear them.
Oh, absolutely. I agree with you.
Call us on the First Bank phone line at 360-8255 or text us on the First Bank text line at 67129.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
2021 is finally here. Might I suggest we start the wonderful new year with a makeover for your beautiful house. I'm Brian Elder. I'm a roofer. I fix roofs. Don't let them tell you that it has to be replaced when all it may need is some love. 867-0303. Let me love on your roof. I've made quite the reputation over the last decade as the guy to call after the insurance company denies the claim. Overturning a claim that has gone bad is an art form where you argue county code, manufacturer specs, and details of your policy that they have to abide by. So let me see it first. If I say it's a claim, it's a claim. 867-0303. Money is free at Brian Elder Roofing with 0% financing for half a decade. I'll measure your roof from outer space and get you a quote right over the phone. 867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303.
If you're going on vacation, making a college campus visit, or if business takes you out of town, there's just no better place to board your dog than Barks and Recreation, 965 Reddick Cove between Bud Davis Cadillac and the Blue Plate Cafe in East Memphis. Boarding, daycare, grooming, we have the best of everything at Barks. Indoor-outdoor kennels so your family member can go in and out as they please. Indoor and outdoor play areas. 4 walks a day. Group play and individual attention from the best staff in the Mid-South, which includes an overnight staff to ensure the safety and comfort of your pet 24 hours a day. All reasons to choose Barks and Recreation above all other boarding and daycare facilities. BarksDaycare.com or 509-0909. Check us out and make your reservations now at BarksDaycare.com. If your dog could speak, he'd say Barks.
Hey, I heard that you just got a new car.
Yes, I sure did, and I could not believe how simple it was.
Really? Tell me what happened.
I bought my car at Cars Inc. They are family owned, and the choices of cars were the best I've ever seen. They even said they could price match with anyone and help me with whatever financing I needed.
Wow, it does sound like they know what they are doing.
Their family has been in the car business for over 30 years, and they're excited about being in Memphis.
Where are they?
5095 Cummington Way, and their phone number is 901-623-7180.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays. This hour is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware at Quince and White Station. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
He was a hard-headed man. He was brutally handsome.
By the way, if you were watching the golf tournament yesterday and saw the Tiger Woods interview with Jim Nantz, I did get a lot of hope that Tiger is going to be playing in the Masters.
Did or did not?
Did not. I don't think he'll be playing in the Masters.
He looked like he was in pain.
He looks sleepy.
He looks sleepy,
when he hasn't done anything golf related other than lengthening his putter to this point.
Right.
Like if he's not.
And who hasn't tried to lengthen their putter?
He's still doing rehab at this point. I don't see how 6 weeks from now he's going to feel in any way ready to play in the Masters.
I would never doubt Tiger, but I would tend to agree with you right now.
Like he just didn't look. He didn't look like a guy who's playing a major tournament in 6 weeks. That's my guess.
As Zach said, he looked either sleepy or whatever medication he's on. His eyes were red and doing the best he can to put a smile on his face and give out the award and all that, and really didn't have much to say to Jim Nantz's questions because right now he's in limbo.
I'm banking on the California air. That's what I'm banking on. It was a little cloudy over the weekend. He probably felt a little like, I'm not playing in this game.
He's sad Tiger. Yeah. He's sad, weepy Tiger because he can't play in the tournament. He's got to host it but not play in it. I don't know, but I don't know when we'll see him again, but I don't feel like we'll see him at the Masters. I think it'll be later than that. Fleet Feet is the place to go to get running gear for whatever needs you have. You want to make sure you get shoes that are right for you for sure. And they will do that at either one of their 2 locations. You go in there, they take a look at the way you run or walk, and then they fit you with shoes just right for you based on where you put the pressure on the different spots on your foot. Everybody's a little bit different, and they've got all the different shoes based on however you run or walk. They'll get the best ones for you to make sure you avoid injuries and any other problems. Plus, any other gear that you need, well, they've got it for you. They'll take care of you. If you've got questions about maybe getting started with running, training for races, other things, they can help you. They're all runners. They're all about the runners. And again, hopefully before too long, they'll be able to start doing their group runs and other things that they like to do once we are past the whole COVID situation. They'll get that stuff going as well. You can always get information about what they've got going on at their website at fleetfeetmemphis.com. They got a Facebook page where they let you know what's going on as well, as they are Fleet Feet.
Grizzlies tonight against the Mavericks. Again, as we mentioned earlier, Dylan Brooks will miss his 3rd straight game. But other than that, you got Brandon Clark back. You will have game 2. I would imagine you'll see a little bit more of Justice Winslow. It's not a back-to-back.
Well, I don't think you'll see more. I would be surprised to see more than 21 minutes.
No, I don't think you're going to see a lot of minutes, but I think you'll see him. You also get Grayson Allen back and Kyle Anderson back, who were both rested on Saturday. DeAnthony Melton, meeting the media today, the Zoom meeting prior to tonight's game, said he hopes the game between the Mavericks and the Grizzlies can help bring some joy to two cities struggling with water problems. Yeah, you think about it. Yes, both Dallas and a lot of areas in Texas and Memphis has been hit by this boil water deal. In fact, Local 24 News just tweeted out that the boil water advisory continues, may last all week.
Yeah, I mean they've got to try and find all these different places where water mains are busted and everything else, and it's not easy to find those sometimes because it's kind of a search to figure out where they are, and so it could still be a little while before we get that taken care of.
Yeah, no question about it. So it's weird when you hear that and you go, yeah, he's absolutely right. I mean, you have Dallas that's been dealing with that, and now we unfortunately have been dealing with it for several days and counting here in Memphis.
He's got the most accurate name on the team.
Melton.
That's what it's doing.
Things are melting.
That's what the last 2 days have been, is melting here in the city of Memphis. That is for sure. Time now for one final thing.
Before Greg and Eli get out of here for the day, they each have one final thing they think you should know to make it through the rest of your day. So here are Greg and Eli with one final thing.
Clayton Kershaw, who's been an ace for the Dodgers for so many years, but his future still in jeopardy after this year, said he is absolutely considering the possibility of re-signing with the team after his contract ends this season. The future Hall of Fame pitcher is going to be 33 years of age, less than 2 weeks before opening day. So he's getting up there, but still not ancient. And with that long, elusive championship in his back pocket, there's a perception that this could be his final year. And that perception was strengthened by an LA Times profile that was published earlier this month, in which Kershaw said he hadn't discussed an extension with the Dodgers and wasn't sure he wanted one. Quote, "I'm on a year-to-year basis," Kershaw said during his first media availability of the season. "I want to reevaluate at the end of every year and see how things are going as a family, myself personally, where we are as a team, and then make the decision from there. I have no intentions of hanging them up. I'm only 32. I feel like I have more years left in the tank."
So a few weeks ago, the PGA of America announced that they are going to start allowing devices to figure out distance, basically range finders,
right,
during their tournaments, even including the PGA Championship. Now, the USGA and the R&A have put out a new proposal of new rules on amateurs in the world of golf, including eliminating all sponsorship-related restrictions. So that means amateur players, can actually accept endorsement deals. Remove any restrictions on how an amateur may benefit from his or her name, image, or likeness, including but not limited to the receipt of expenses. Eliminating the distinction between cash and other forms of prizes, and reducing the wait period for amateur reinstatement. Basically, the only things that you would not be able to do and still be an amateur would be accept prize money over $750, receive payment for instruction, or be employed as a club pro. If I didn't know better, I would think that the world of golf is actually coming around to modern times. The Royal and Ancient might have to be renamed the Royal and Modern. I don't know. I'm just saying. Like the world of golf is actually realizing that it's 2021. I couldn't be more proud of them.
You know, you're absolutely right. And you kid the Royal and Ancient because that's been around the longest. But, man, the USGA has been archaic also in their rules. So this is nice to see, a nice step up, moving in the right direction. Absolutely agree.
I've said that with the PGA, I wish the PGA Tour would come out and let the rangefinders be used in every tournament. I don't understand. I wish the USGA, R&A, all of them would say, yes, you can use rangefinders. I don't understand why we still need guys pacing off yardages on a golf course. Speed it up.
It would speed it up. And you know what? While we're at it, let them wear some damn shorts as well.
How much money does an amateur has to accept or decline?
Well, you cannot accept a prize over $750.
So an amateur, when Phil Mickelson won his first tournament, he didn't accept the prize. He didn't accept the.
If you're an amateur playing in a PGA Tour event, you're not going to get anything.
Mickelson won.
Oh,
So
no.
now
But-
you can accept it, right? No, or do you have to declare before you play? Or can you, like, if you win it, can you say, okay, I'm a pro, I want the money?
No, I think you have
to declare,
before,
don't you?
Before you play.
Yeah. Okay.
But like this is like, so it's some of these tournaments like you, whatever tournaments around the city of Memphis that you can go play at a scramble or something like that. That like you can accept if you win a prize or something that is valued at less than $750, you can take that, and it's not like you've given up your amateur status.
Exactly.
No.
BetOnline.ag has win totals out for Major League Baseball. The LA Dodgers, as you would suspect, number one, 103.5. The lowest total, the Pittsburgh Pirates at 58.5. If you're doing this at home, pull out the paper, the pencil, add it up, you're going to come up with 46 game difference between the Dodgers and the Pirates. 46 win total difference between the Dodgers and the Pirates predicted this year. We want to thank you for listening to the program today, folks. Tomorrow, C.J. O'Gara, who joins us every week to talk college football, will be joining us. Jeff Crane from the University of Memphis. We got 2.5 questions. Humdinger's Trivia. We'll also announce our topic for this week's 5 favorite things. Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio is coming up next. For Eli Savoy and for Zach Boyd, I'm Greg Gaston. Have a great rest of your Monday, everybody.